2. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode number 135 of the Terminus Podcast for the weeks of January 18th, 2020. 2020.
There you go.
I was so focused on saying the right,
Is this the first podcast of the new year?
Yep. This is the first podcast of the new year. It was supposed to be last week, but stuff happened.
I'm gonna set the standards really low.
Nice. First podcast of the decade. Standards nice and low. Speaking of people, actually, before we lock those standards in, I skipped all the introductions. Whatever. I'm your host, Ellis. You guys know.
I'm Milky. You probably know me from somewhere.
No, they're talking hat. Fuck off.
Jacob Durbin, Nick Christensen, Jared Cole, and Eastrail. Joining me on this first episode of 2020. And before we lock those standards in for the rest of the decade, the train will terminate at this station.
Above Russia's Stalingrad.
Defending glorious motherland.
Defending glorious motherland from Germans.
I think you got cut off at the beginning there, but
if it's German,
either way, yeah, we're above Stalingrad.
Yeah. Okay.
And we have a crash in the new year.
Because no one's above
every
that.
Single Class 1 railroad, except for 2. KCS, of course.
Who could have guessed?
And CN, somehow.
Who's KCS?
Just wait till they blow up a town.
But we actually have a holdover from last year. On December the 28th, Union Pacific struck a car.
Oof.
After a quote-unquote confused driver stopped on railroad tracks in Ventura. There were 79. A train struck a vehicle stopped on a railroad track in Ventura on Friday evening. Car's 79-year-old driver became confused when the crossing lights came on. I don't know how whatever.
Okay, Boomer.
It's because he shoots the Wiggum rags.
Yeah. The railroad freight train tried but was unable to stop. The 4 occupants inside the car were taken to area hospitals. A 37-year-old man suffered major injuries, but everyone else, I suppose, suffered minor injuries. And, of course, nobody on the train was hurt. Unsurprisingly. So, case is under investigation. Police urged anyone who might have witnessed the crash to contact investigators. That's really interesting. That's deeper than you see them get a lot of the time. Anyway, let us be graced in this moment for the first crash of 2020. And boy, was it a doozy. It was a doozy straight into the Kootenai River. So, there was a derailment, a pretty serious derailment. We have 3 articles on this, where a BNSF train derailed and went nose into the river.
Oof.
Crunch.
Yeah.
I thought I fell off a bridge.
No,
BNSF personnel
they hit like a
worked to
landslide.
pull the engine. Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened. I'm really wondering... Yeah, crewman radio dispatched they were trapped in the engine in the river and sinking.
Oh, no.
That's effing scary.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, they were safe, thankfully, but there are some crazy pictures of the locomotive in the river, just sitting there. Also on the first, Norfolk Southern gave us its first and only accident of the period. That is, they hit a car and took it a distance. The vehicle got stuck in gravel while attempting to turn around at the Taylor Street crossing, and it was thankfully unoccupied when the train hit it, but it doesn't say how far it went, but it says down the railroad tracks and the title is Train Locomotive Takes Vehicle on Wild Ride, so it seems like they went pretty far.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just clickbait sensationalism.
Yeah.
Shame on them. Anyway, we also have this neat surveillance video from LeClaire, Iowa, of a Canadian Pacific train derailing outside of the Blue Iguana Bar and Grill. This is at about 11 a.m. Friday, January 3rd. You can see the train cars beginning to wobble, coming off the tracks and crashing. Train cars flew into the street. There were no reported injuries when the train derailed, and they completed cleanup in a couple of days. So they think it was a broken rail. This is CP's only derailment, and I mean, it's just neat because it's on camera.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see that too often.
No.
Let's see. We then had 2 derailments on the 12th of the month. What?
Like at the end of the CP video, like for the last second, just a hopper car on its side slides into the frame.
Yeah, everyone should watch that video. A Union Pacific train derailed in Dunn County, causing a pileup of train cars, and I mean a pileup of hoppers, which I believe they were empty. And it closed down U.S. Route 12, so there's that. No injuries reported, no hazardous materials on board, presumably because it was an empty grain train. And it was in the middle of nowhere. However, this was definitely something more serious. A gray 2012 Chevy Equinox was hit by an eastbound BNSF train on the 12th when it drove through a railroad crossing arm on South 42nd Street in Grand Forks a little before 11 a.m. Sunday morning. There was an 87-year-old woman driving the Equinox, and they were transported to All True Hospital, though the injuries did not appear to be serious. So, the vehicle was pushed off the tracks and pushed off the roadway and onto BNSF property. The driver will be cited for the incident for failure to obey a railroad crossing. You know, I assume they fine people that get hit by Brightline too, but like, they should make those fines very public. Be like, publicly shame people.
Congrats,
anyway,
you got hit by Brightline and died.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah. The crews are working on a train derailment to have it. This is our CSX derailment in North Charleston. According to CSX, 5 empty rail cars were knocked off the tracks. They look to be, at least 3 of them were coil cars. Empty coil cars. Yeah, that's really nothing to write home about. Again, this week, amazingly, despite having a locomotive in the river, we have no fires, no explosions, no deaths. And despite the fact that we have an accident for all but 2 of our railroads, and some of them have 2 of them. It's been a relatively quiet beginning of the year, I guess.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you guys want to look over those accidents, they will all be in the cargoes, where they usually are. So, with that in mind, let's talk about what we've done in the past couple of weeks, railroad-related.
Where was we aided? Mostly we aided to a railroad series. Scene number 9 has been filmed for To Will the World.
I'll have 2 number 9s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you did, TJ did the editing for Scene 8. You did the master audio file, the filming, and the editing for Scene 9,
Yeah.
like, immediately. And I have all the lines for Scene 10, I just need to get them to you. So,
Yeah, it was a
this is
case
exciting.
of I knew what I wanted to do when I was editing the master audio file, so I just filmed it.
It does also help that it was a relatively simple...
Yeah. Scene that didn't really require anyone else. Something I just kind of knocked off on my own.
Mhm.
But it's progress. And it's
Yeah. Also, somebody just PM'd me on Discord. Hey, I think he meant to say, hey, Gay, do you do the Terminus Podcast? Anyway, so, yeah, it's exciting to see that progress is happening. It's actually funny, because, you know, we talk about the various things we
Yeah.
do. The Horseman is in equal parts a video making and a writing project
Yeah.
for me. And I find it, like, just a segue into something that I've been doing, which is working on the Housatonic. I intend to write a scene in that film where the locomotive gets tipped over into the river.
Oh,
and
no.
so now that we have like testimony of like this is what it's like to be in a locomotive sinking in the
Yeah.
sinking in the river. So yeah.
Right,
he
Pastor,
just
I'd
asked-
like to have a word with you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would assume that generally they're
Although
they're-
the White Pass and the Horseman universe is a little bit different because of that.
Yeah, well, the Housatonic isn't set in the Horseman universe either. I'm just saying the White Pass dumped their locomotives in the river without people in them.
Yeah, that's true.
That's an important distinction to make. I haven't done much else, though. I haven't been to the Providence Northern. I wanted to go get my soldering iron, but I didn't get to it. I haven't worked on Tolbrin very much. Like, I did some work, and I'm starting to tie it together. But I was friggin' crazy busy this week, and I didn't get to make under construction. I might not this week because of that. So, like, I've done a little bit of work, but it's nothing to write home about. It's exciting how close I am to finishing it, but
Yeah.
it's all little things. And I still need to get your first module in the Horseman modular.
Yeah. And this point, it's like, am I going to finish my next one before the first one even gets in? Or
Yeah. No, I need to sit down. I need to do the actual review on it.
but,
That's why I've been so hesitant.
but anyway, speaking of modules, I added a little mile-long logging railroad to mine. Like, I needed more track, but it's there and it's pretty neat, and I'd thought about making it go further, but for now it's just a mile long, and that's the way I'm it.
How much is on your module?
Oh boy.
I actually took the hyperspeed Mack truck for the entire thing. And I think it was around 40 miles.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah.
Where's the Bill Wirtz thing? That's big.
And also in the same screenshot of the molecule, I finally finished Albany Western number 5100, which is our first ST40 locomotive. Yeah,
I saw that. That looks pretty sharp.
yeah, it's not too bad for a really old DOS model.
Yeah, is it like I was gonna say the model itself looks familiar. Is it like one of the Cincy Southern things?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow, that's
it's reskinned off of his Western Mail and ST40.
old boy, but still a good boy
Yeah.
for the most part.
But it's the newest engine, both in terms of actuality and in terms of the universe, because the cutoff is 1966, being the final year for the era. And this is right at 1966. So I only have 10 of them on the roster because there'll probably be more that get ordered in 1970.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So speaking of modules, I've kind of I didn't know you were gonna say something.
Nah, you're good. Go for it.
I've been doing a decent amount of work on my module. I sent some pictures. My module primarily, the main centerpiece is a coal power plant that you can
Oh, nice.
run trains to.
That's a nice contrast to the coal mines I'm going to have on mine.
Ah, very nice.
Yeah.
So our module is aligned perfectly.
Yeah.
There's going to be a yard and Amtrak station, and there's actually some history. So, the line itself is owned by CSX, but
All right.
Back in the day, there used to be 2 yards, one owned by the Southern Railway and one owned by the Chesapeake and Ohio.
Okay.
And so,
Cool.
I'm interested already. You said my 2 favorite roads.
Yeah.
so obviously when Southern became Norfolk Southern and CSX took the chassis and then all the other roads and became CSX,
Yeah.
they decided to combine the 2 yards just into 1 yard and remove the other yard. So if you look in the one screenshot where you can see like a building under construction, if you look to the left, you can see some old tracks, and if you look to the right or the picture above it, you can see, if you look closely, like some old abandoned tracks in the hidden
In the
under the
grass.
ground. Yeah,
I see. That's actually great.
Yeah,
I love this.
that's cool. It's
and
environmental storytelling.
yeah, and actually, if you were to look at the road bridge in the background,
Oh, wow.
it's actually a road bridge that I just paved over. So,
Okay.
and
That's
then
nice.
yeah.
What's the story with the this like massive highway interchange?
Oh, that's just something I flex
Yeah.
because it took me way too long to do.
This is making my head spin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you can see NS-8, I think, and the CSX, ET44, leading some coal trains running around the coal mine. I mean, the coal power plant.
I like it.
Yeah. I could too. I can't wait to start sending coal trains that way.
I can't wait to set up the AI for that.
Yeah.
And
Also, Mom Spaghetti.
for personal use, there's an iPortal and a portal hidden in the back of a mountain. So you can also send trains via iPortal if you so desire.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's
Nice.
nice. I may have to
I
add
might
a few.
take. Sorry.
I may have to add some to my module.
Well, as part of my standardization of the modules when they come in, I might be swapping portal ends with regular ends. And yeah, stuff like that. Because I'm just going to try to give as many connections as possible for new modules, etc.
Yeah.
So, you know, I like I said, Milky, I still need to get your module in. Maybe after the show I'll do that if I have some time.
Do you have mine
Depends
in?
how late
yet?
this runs.
Alright.
No, I didn't realize yours was done actually.
It's about 95%. Like I'm gonna go through and upload a new version of the route because I've tweaked some things with the AI and like moved some track marks around and all that. So I don't think I talked about this last time that was on here. So back up a bit. So it's like the middle of December. Came home from school for Christmas break, and I went to go, fire up trains and work on the module that I've been working on for the past couple months, based on that little industrial switching layout that I had planned for in a 1991 or something Model Raider magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Go to open up the route, and it corrupted itself. So
Welcome to my world, bro.
Yeah.
Make millions of backups.
You know how many times I've seen my routes do that, dude? Too goddamn many.
Same. Though,
See, the thing is, it didn't even corrupt it didn't even corrupt itself when I opened it. I just couldn't open it. I don't know what happened. Anyway, I decided, you know what? As cool as that module was going to be, there were a few things about it that I just didn't like, and I don't really like building big cityscapes or stuff like that. I don't really know that too well. So I decided to, is there anything that I have now that I can possibly update, finish, to make into a module? So I decided to revisit the Mattapoisett Peninsula Railway and turn that into my module because it basically is one, and it can function on its own, but it'd be perfect in a modular setting. So for the past, probably the last like 3 weeks or something break, I went through, I updated some of the scenery. I watched the route review for it for like probably 4 or 5 times, noting all your critiques on the scenery and everything, and I updated that, make it more believable.
Awesome.
I added a river cutting through, like the river that's up by the junction. I made that cut through and then go to the main, I guess, north-south river. And I added a little covered bridge where the track crosses it. And I finished up the scenery, added some PBR grass.
Ooh.
And then I added track on each end of the junction town, St. Pierre. I added track on each end so the double track main lines would line up in the center of the baseboard so you can merge it with.
Yep. Did the template help?
I didn't even use it. I just meant.
Oh boy.
Well, the thing is, there's enough like just dead space on each side of the track where if you needed to move it, it wouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully it's not too bad.
It shouldn't be. If my measurements were right, then it'll be good.
My calculations are correct.
Speaking of my measurements, I got a few things in the mail from the Chien Railway Historical Society, and one of them is they call them reference sheet, but they did them on various engines and whatnot. And I got one on one of their consolidations, and comes with drawings and whatnot, and all sorts of good data on them. And I got one on the Mansfield branch because I needed to. I'm like, they have another one of these on the Mansfield branch. I should get those too. I thought they were going to be. I thought they were going to be PDFs, but then I got them in the mail. I'm like, okay.
So, I went to the Great Train Show when it came to town.
Hey,
A couple weekends ago. That was actually really cool. It was the first train show I had been to in years. I had been to one before. I think it was actually the same one.
Okay.
But no, this was my first one actually being an adult and able to appreciate the time and work and money that went into these things. And it's looking at it as an adult, from a little kid, it's much more impressive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because when you go in there as a little kid, and you're like, "Oh, look at all the trains, yeah!" And then
My cousin
you go in there. Then you go in there as an adult, and you're like, "Yeah, look at all the trains." But no,
And all the scenery and all the hard work.
Yeah, and all the scenery
money.
and all the money and the hard work that went into it all. And some of those
registers.
some of the layouts that were in there, some were lackluster, some were really good.
Oh boy.
Yeah, there's always that
Great.
good balance.
Use the opportunity to. There are actually a lot of local clubs around me. They're just not as local as I'd like.
Yeah.
How local is local?
Like Bay Area.
That makes sense.
Which is not ideal because I really wouldn't want to have to drive over there. But I also used the opportunity to expand my N-scale collection. I got a few new pieces of rolling stock. I got an adorable little 20-ton hopper.
Nice.
And then a couple box cars. The only problem is though that they don't have the right couplers. They came with the little hook ones, and those annoy me.
It shouldn't be too hard to swap them out in theory.
But I've been, and it gave me a little motivation to actually get back into model railroading because it is fun. It is a good hobby for, especially somebody like me, where don't have much going on. It's something to do, and so
Yeah.
that's always fun.
Speaking of
Yeah.
new, sorry.
I've just been. I made a locomotion session today because
Hey.
it's been a while since
Oh yeah, Commander.
that's been around, and playing locomotion again is just it's so nostalgic, I should say.
Nostalgic, yeah.
Much nostalgia. Such wow.
Yep.
Mm.
Very nostalgia.
It's just
And
some.
then it crashed my computer.
Oof.
I don't
This
know
is
how
too-
locomotion crashed my computer.
Maybe it's too old.
I don't know.
It's too old.
Your computer
just
can't handle it.
Yeah, the minimum specs are so low, your computer can't handle it.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then, if nobody has anything else, I actually
I
have.
have stuff. Train show.
Okay, well then talk.
Okay.
Jesus.
Talk you.
Speak!
boy.
Well, piggybacking off of the train show topic, was it 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weekends ago now. The World's Greatest Hobby on Tour came to Columbus. And
Ooh, I heard that's a
went.
good show.
It was amazing. Like, there's the Great Train Show, which, that's always good. But then this one had probably double the amount of vendors, and then a bunch of manufacturers, and then probably, I'd say at least like 2 or 3 more layouts. And
More
I wasn't
better.
And I wasn't planning on buying much. Like, I had a list of primarily scenery things that I wanted to get. Yeah, because like my layout's at the point where I can't really fit too much more rolling stock on it, and
I know that feeling.
yeah, and then my engine fleet is at the point where I have too many to take care of. I seriously need to start look at deaccessioning some stuff before I try to replenish that. And then I'm trying to tighten my focus on more like CNO and chassis stuff, rather than just anything that I like.
Yeah, I need to go through and do that too.
I need to do it. I need a plague.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so we get to the show. We're walking around, checking out everything, and then the Hawking Valley, we had a booth set up, and I didn't know about. Like, I would have, gone and worked it because I think we get into the show for free. But I didn't know about it until like the Thursday before the show. Nobody told me. I found out about it on Facebook.
Oh.
I actually continuing with. Sorry to cut you off, Jader, but like
That's okay.
just talking more about shows and my mom came with me because she got us the tickets for Christmas, and I was like, Mom, you're coming with me, right? She's like, fine. But like, she goes in there and she's like, oh, it's just a bunch of trains. But then she goes in there and she's like, oh wow, this is actually really cool, and I actually was having a good time with it. And I was like,
Yeah.
And so at the end of it, she was like, that was actually an enjoyable experience, and I would like to do this again. And I was like, really? So
That's great.
That's always good.
I am looking
mom's
forward
a
to
farmer.
trade show. I'm looking forward to the trade show this coming weekend. Next weekend, I guess. And TJ is going to be back at school, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to run up there and pick him up for the Sunday, but I'm going both days. And I had grand plans of, like, I'm going to buy this. Or, I'm going to buy that. And actually, this and that are the same thing. I'm only trying to buy one thing. But they were grand plans for me because I've never bought anything at a train show before. So
I still don't understand how, but
I go there to look around and talk to people and like network and stuff. It was my networking, right? And chit-chatting with this woman every single time I see her. That got us a free ride on the main narrow gauge Polar Express. So it pays off.
Yeah.
If only I bother to do that kind of stuff with work.
just work for. Just go like
Work for
What?
Amtrak.
Well, I mean, well, not even Amtrak. Like, go work for, I don't know, Steamtown or something.
Heck no.
Well, I mean, I could. Well, that's what I mean is, like, engineering. There's a lot of like, what's the word? Professional organizations and stuff like that you can join,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but not. I'm in none of them. That's neither here nor there.
One of
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this train show. It's like the only thing I'm going to be doing train related in the next couple of weeks, except for maybe going to the PN in 2 weeks. But next week, obviously, is the show. So
one of the clubs that had caught my attention at the show for me, it was an N-scale club, and it modeled like they had a 4449 running around. They had a straight up Phase 3 Amtrak consist. That was really
Nice.
cool.
jealous.
Yeah, no,
Foam.
They're one thing in the 90s.
We are burning into demonetized.
Speaking of new rolling stock acquisitions, I made
you
my
bought a
first
box
one in made my first one in a while. Giant the
Portland
the
Traction
yeah
Company.
the tape fell off of the box, but because I purchased another kit, another limited edition Portland Traction Company box car, wood outside brace, wood,
Mm-hmm.
and these are nice. Like they're
they look
they're oldies, but they're goodies.
They do look very nice. Those are Walther's kits, right?
They were
I love
manufactured
Walther's kits.
in 1989, I think, for a national train show that was in Portland.
Okay.
And I just happened to find another one on eBay that had different lettering and numbering than the one that I already had. So,
Cool. Okay, so I'll jump back to my train show experience. So I'm over at the Hocking Valley booth talking to who's there? Talking to Chris and Josh, and we're going through each other's stuff, seeing like what all we got. And Josh told me, hey, one of the booths, down the way, or there's a couple, good booths down the way. One of them had a shelf like 4 feet wide and like 8 feet high, and I don't know, maybe a foot deep, full of Pullman sleeper cars, all kits.
Wow.
$10 each. So I decided, that's too good of a deal for one of these. I really don't need a big Pullman sleeper car right now, but that's too good of a deal. So I got one of those, and then I think the next booth over,
Yoink.
yeah, then like the next booth and like the booth in like the next aisle and a couple down or something. Let me preface this by saying that I wasn't looking at buying any engines because like I mentioned just a minute ago, I have way too many, and I need to look at deaccessioning some.
Nah.
I'll take anything you have.
So I get to this booth and I'm looking around. There's a bunch of cool stuff, and I turn and then I'm just looking around. There's a bunch of cool stuff, and I see these two C&O GP9s sitting on the shelf, just right there. And I go like laser eye, make a beeline towards them.
Oh no.
And then I asked the guy, they're really, really nice. They wanted 85 each. They old Proto 2000 models with the factory sound.
yeah.
So I asked the guy, how do these run? Can I test them? Because I'm interested. Real nice guy, and they had a little test track and little DC test track in there. So I tested one out, and I figured, okay, I'll just get I figured, okay, I'll just get one. And then like split, I don't know, like a split second decision or something. I just casually asked, like, what would you take for the pair? And he said 150. I'm like, I was doing the math. 85, that's 170. I was
20% off.
Yeah, 20% off. Or
$20.
Yeah,
Yes,
20.
got it.
Yeah, $20 off for a pair of Jeeps with sound. Granted, it's older sound, but still sound.
Yeah.
And
Sound is sound. Sound is sound.
and they ran. He was telling me like they had new gears in them. They ran beautifully together.
Hey.
We tested them. So I figured, you know what, this is a bad idea, but I'm going to take them. And then I got them home, and they ran great. I did a little photo op with 5833, and they don't really run, like all three of them I can't really run together because 5833 is a lot faster, but I can fix that at some point.
Why are N-scale steam engines so hard to find?
Because they're hard to make.
Yeah.
I want one very bad, but like I can't find it. I check my hobby store in Roseville like every week, and admittedly I haven't seen much change in the engines there at all. It's just almost like they don't sell any.
Sounds like my local hobby town that I used to go to before they closed.
Yeah, it sounds like...
There's a hobby town, you're right. I should go check out Hobby Town. That's over in Folsom. I should go to... There's a... RC Country Hobbies is like the biggest hobby store in Sacramento, and I really want to go there just to see what they have. Because, I mean, I've been there before. The store is huge. It's awesome. It's actually a really cool hobby store. And they have a ton of train stuff. They have a ton of everything. What am I even trying? Anyways, anybody have anything else?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so let's see. So I have one more.
It's burning my tongue. I really need to ask this.
Oh no.
Actually, wait, I have two more modeling things. Okay.
Go by all means.
So first thing is over break, I kind of got in the habit and in the mindset of, okay, there's not really much more I can add to the layout. Like I'm kind of running out of space, but I haven't made that much progress on scenery. So I just kind of took a look around and decided what I could do, what I had on hand before the train show, and then I went more supply train show. But I've been going through. Let's see. I painted a road. I painted the road that leads over to the. I painted the road that leads over to the roundhouse and the turntable area, and I've been going through and hand painting the ties, like just brown, and I'm going to go through and like spot paint, make certain ones stand out and all that.
Wow. That's looking good.
And then my new thing that I want to start doing, and I've already started, is weathering the sides of the rail. Because think about it, even if it's like a brand new track, you look at it and the only shiny part
is the very top.
Right.
Because steel, I work with it. It's not very shiny.
Right.
Unless
you leave it alone for a minute and it's rusty.
It's not very shiny unless you make it shiny.
Yeah.
Correct. So I got, what is it? Woodland Scenics makes these, they're paint pens. And I picked one up at the train show, a rusty rail color. And I went through and I've been painting the sides, and I started painting the sides of the rails around the layout, and holy shit, it looks good. It's so, same with painting the ties. It's so subtle. But, see, this picture shows it better. But it's so subtle, but it looks so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the sides of rails being painted and stuff. I hate it though because when I have to do track drops with older pieces of track, then I've got to get in there and clean off the sides before I can solder to it.
Just take what do you use to clean it off?
I have it's a little wire brush.
Okay.
Now,
gonna say
Jada,
that,
do
or
you
like
do you have a picture of your whole layout? I'm curious to see how far you've come because I know you've been working on this for years now.
Look. Well, let me post another picture so I
So
can
Ben,
talk while I look
even
for
talks
it.
to you.
Okay, so
If you,
the third model rare story that I want to talk about involves
that's the task manager.
involves my cousin. So
Uh-oh.
he's into model trains and he's just starting out. And he got he got an Athearn SD70 with sound and everything for Christmas. Problem is, well, when he got it, it didn't run on DC. So he asked me, can you take a look at it? So I brought it home, and
What?
And my hunch, my hunch that it was just programmed to the cab number, punched in the cab number, and it worked. So I'm like, okay, I can access it now, so I can program the decoder. So I decided to take it apart and give it a good cleaning, make sure everything was good, that the gears were cracked, otherwise you'd be in for a world of trouble. So I take it apart, or I start taking it apart, and I'm just looking at this thing, and it's definitely secondhand. I would say probably like third hand. And then whoever had it before really didn't know what they were doing. Like the most recent picture I just sent, they replaced.
Yeah, the ditch light.
Yeah, it's just a blob of yellow plastic.
That's why. That's what made me say like, "Ooh, that thing looks like it's in rough shape."
Yeah, like I tried to figure out, like I was hitting the button for the ditch lights, but it didn't do anything. One, there's no lights there to begin with, or there's like a light, but they cut the wires or something. And two, the one's just a fucking blob of plastic, and I don't have spare ditch lights laying around, so I can't replace them anyway. So I don't even think he notices. But
you can probably order the part for $20.
See, if it was my model, I would, but I don't really think he
He may not even care.
I'll put it this way: he's at the point in his train loving phase or lifelong journey, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, adventure.
His great journey.
Yeah, adventure. Thank you. Where he doesn't really know anything.
Yeah.
Like he was showing me a picture or showing me a video of some, I forget what it was, some like diesel passenger excursion or something. And and he was asking me, what's that? He was asking me what's that rumbling sound? And I'm like, it's the diesel engine. And he's like, oh, yeah.
Okay.
I thought they were supposed to chug.
and then he goes in real fancy Amtrak and he hears whoop.
Just whoosh.
Yeah.
GE sound effect number one.
Yeah.
Happy GE noises.
Lol GG.
Anyway, so I take apart this engine, and like I said, it's had a hard life with the ditch
No
light.
kidding.
There were bits of stray paint where I guess the way these older Athearn models were is that they were basically kits, like you had to put on the handrails and the grab irons and ditch lights, all the little stuff that's already done for you now. And there were just little bits of stray paint, and the yellow paint they used didn't exactly match the rest of the model, but it looked okay. It looked good enough. If it was my model, I'd fix it, but
good enough for the ground.
Yeah. So I take it apart just to clean it, see what it's like on the inside, and then I take the trucks out, and they were absolutely caked in grease. The first two pictures I sent of it, just I haven't seen an engine with that much grease in it. And I sent pictures in the chat while I was working on it, and TJ coined the phrase "the forbidden peanut butter" because that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
Disgusting. I'm gonna show this picture of the forbidden peanut butter again. God, it's gross.
Yeah, it was absolutely disgusting.
What
But
is that? What's in the
If you
gear?
eat it, you automatically go. You die and you automatically go to hell.
That's all old grease.
Oh, ew.
I mean, thankfully, though, because certain types of grease, after a while, they start to congeal and they become almost glue.
Yeah.
So then it just seizes up the gears in your engine and it dies.
Right,
Sounds
but this stuff I just scraped it out with a screwdriver, Q-tip soaked in rubbing alcohol, cleaned it all up, and it runs really good.
Okay.
I need to do this
That's
to my
great.
engines because my little
Yeah.
F7 starting to sound rough.
Yeah, I need to
Most
get.
of my rolling stock is rough. Or
Like
engine.
when I run it in reverse, I literally hear it like.
Yep.
Ew.
In reverse?
Yeah.
But I need to get all my stuff like on a maintenance routine, because what I usually try to do, at least, what I try to do with my stuff is have it, have what I'm going to take to the state fair operational, by fair, and then I try to have what I have. I try to decide what I'm going to take to the fair about a month prior, so if there's anything I need to do, I can get it done before the fair, so I can just show up and run my stuff and not be sitting there fixing it all day.
Yeah.
Now, if we did demonstrations of fixing things, then I'd gladly do that. But we
There was
don't. So yeah.
There was a live Steam club at the train show.
Ooh.
I forgot to mention that. Those engines are something else.
Aren't they? They're adorable.
They're worth more than a cheap car.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, some are worth a lot more than a cheap car. Some are worth more than an expensive car.
There
That-
was an engine there. I mean, it was just like G scale, but there was a post-war GS4. It was the black one.
War
Yeah.
baby.
War baby. And I asked the guy, I was like, "Hey, how much is that engine worth?" He said $6,000, and I was just like,
Oof.
"Wow!"
Yeah. I was gonna say the Uinta 51 that was for sale when Y and I were at Train Mountain, Y and Gillies and I, $64,000.
Yeah.
You just have to wonder
With
who has that kind
It
of
came with
Get
the
in a
trailer though,
sports
so there's that.
$64,000.
You could buy
Yeah.
two
Yep.
cars for that.
You could
You
buy
could.
a sports
Yep.
car for the.
You could buy a pretty nice vehicle with that amount of
You
money.
could out here. You could buy a pretty nice trailer house for that much.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah.
buy every Volvo in existence.
Volvo T1.
What I was gonna say was you could buy a really nice car or a lot of really cheap cars.
Yeah.
Or you could buy a wheel for the T1.
Yeah, one wheel. You could buy a whole wheel.
Buy a whole.
Speaking
wheel.
of which, are we good here?
Yeah. I think we are.
Last thing, we finally got
No.
our dining car. It showed up. It showed up about a week before the last Santa trains.
Ooh.
And we used it.
Ooh,
We used it on a New Year's train. We're gonna use the shit out of this thing. Starting this month, we got. We'll talk about it more in the news section, but we got a couple. Well, we have a Valentine's Day dinner train lined up and two pizza and beer trains lined up to use it.
Are you guys gonna actually cook food in it?
That's the plan for the Valentine's Day. I think it's a 4-course meal, and you have a choice between steak prime rib, and I forget what the entree is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
That's awesome.
you can make a killing with dinner trains.
Well,
Oh yeah,
hell yeah.
it's all coming together.
It is all coming coming together. Hopefully this leads to more, more cash flow, which means we can do more stuff. And hopefully we can do something big for a 50th with the extra cash flow.
So, all right, that's awesome. That is cool.
Yep.
I want to do the Valentine's Day train and take Madison out.
Hey, if you guys come on the Ohio trip,
Yeah.
or even if it's just you two.
Yeah, no, we'll drive out there. That'd be a fun one. Alright, TVA, what did you want to say?
Okay, so let's discuss. Achilles was talking the other night, and he was talking about how another wave of mergers is coming soon.
Oh, we have an article about this.
I know, and that's the article that I was talking about, where it's like, hey, that kind of covers what I want to talk about. Which Class 1 railroad is either going to fall or merge next?
In our opinion.
Yeah, what do you guys think is going to happen? Who do you think is going to fall first?
Well,
Honestly, it's either KCS is going to drop out of Class 1 contention, or I don't know, roll back the clock like a year and I would have said CSX easily. But CSX has sort of leveled out, and it's been UP in the most trouble, so maybe Union Pacific, but I couldn't see them.
I could see them maybe doing a good old-fashioned Conrail split.
Conrail split.
Return of the SP. And
Conrail strikes again.
Yeah, where they break off and they have this portion sold to this Class 1 and this portion sold to this Class 1. That'd be interesting.
They're just like, Mr. Stock, I don't feel so good.
Yeah.
I'm not sure,
they get split into all the railroads UP absorbed.
You guys know how NS is getting rid of a lot of the power, SD40s and stuff like that?
Yeah.
How much do you want to bet by the end of the year they'll be leasing power again?
What if it rebounds?
Rebounds? I think it's just cheaper to lease power to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
NS before the PSR had a pretty good rebuild program going.
Yeah.
But that seemed to have been cut.
Yeah.
And rebuild programs can go a long way depending on the engine.
Yeah, I mean,
UP was they stopped too.
Yeah.
I mean, some rebuild programs work, UP
rebuilt all their SD40s and all their yard power.
SP rebuilt half of their roster.
Couldn't give them a bath.
Oh, you know what? I got excited. Speaking of rebuild programs, I saw.
Oh boy.
I got told by finally one of the F40 rebuilds that the MBTA has done.
Hey.
I was taking home a late train because I had stayed in the office later than usual, and they're usually shorter and they don't have the whatever they're called, the hypothermic Bs on the front of them.
Yeah.
And I just saw it come in. I was like, oh, hey, neat. I was in a miserable mood, so I didn't even get out my phone and take a picture or anything. But I was just like, oh, it's one of these. I'm glad to see.
Woo.
Right.
Yeah, so...
Cool.
Yeah, rebuilds.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll come around to the subject of mergers again when that article comes up.
Yeah.
But
maybe
right now, let's...
talk about my robotics team, which is #1 in the South Florida.
Yeah, good for you.
I think we all know what time it is now.
Yeah.
Time for robotic Florida man?
Yes. Beep boop, boop, beep boop.
It's time for... Who's going to do it? Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Nice. Anyway, in one corner.
Mine just didn't get in.
In one corner, we have
I
a
actually
T1.
tried.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, in one corner we have a T1, in the other corner we have a T1. Who's representing what? Please send your pictures.
I am repping the wedding one.
I'm representing Johnson.
For reasons. Fine horseman reasons, and one ran kind of in my area for a bit.
Yeah. Alright, so there is Johnson, the first prototype, the first T1.
And here's
here
2102.
2102, who I can't remember what we named, but we do have a name for.
Yeah.
The third T-1.
The first.
This looks to be...
I'm gonna save that for style points early.
Well, then
Yes.
I have a style point.
Yes.
I'm about to style point.
Alright, well, we'll
Okay.
get there when we get there. Who wants to go, or who's going to get to go first?
Okay.
The people that are not in the competition, you decide.
Honestly,
Wait,
the T1 has to go first.
Which
Alright, you're
one?
getting a point for that.
No, like
Uh,
the T1, like the good one, the PR one.
Oh,
Say
the
the fast one or the whole
chonk. Yeah,
The Chong one, yeah.
chonk. I'm not lying. It's true.
And he's dying.
No, he's got a point.
The T1 had to go
Alright.
first.
Alright, whatever. Israel, you're representing the Pennsylvania T1. You ask the first question.
okay. I'm gonna. So, what is your build year?
1945.
1945.
Oh, so you're not doing Johnson.
No, 4444.
The Johnson
T1.
the prototypes were built in 42.
Oh, okay. I'm just going off
the-
steamlocomotive.com.
Okay, so you're not doing Johnson. You're
What's
doing
so different?
all right.
Not specifically.
There
Johnson.
actually are a handful of
Yeah,
differences, but
yeah.
anyway, actually,
20.
So that's
okay, both
that's a dead
1945.
tie.
That's a push.
Yeah.
Milky, it's your turn.
Okay. What's your valve do, mate?
Give me a second.
Oh God.
That's your undoing.
I'm gonna end this whole man's valve do career.
Franklin, pop it.
Wall search.
Yes.
Yeah.
T1 feels
Yeah.
big shame.
Wheel slip intensifies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bending of valve
Speaking of
gear.
wheel slip, what's your factor of adhesion?
Oh no.
64,650.
That's
What?
no. What's your tracking number?
4.33. I was reading one above it. Don't mind me. 4.33.
Oof. 4.09.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. What is your minimum weight of whale, Mister?
Minimum weight of
It's
rail
one
is
boy.
117 or 58.5.
Thick.
Wow, that's closer than I thought. I'm 116.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I'm actually kind of surprised you won.
I expected it, but not by that margin.
I
Yeah.
guess you're not as chonk as we thought.
Yeah.
All right, Milky.
Okay. Let's keep this rolling.
That's not.
Hmm.
Once. Ooh.
I'm treading very carefully here. Hmm.
Okay, I'll ask a question.
Okay.
Okay, Jader.
How many of you were built? I'm actually curious because I know there's a lot of each of you. Who has more?
There's 52 T1s.
Okay. I got 30 T1.
Yeah.
That's more T-1s than I thought.
Well, we make
These
up for
wins that-
we make up for another department, so we get 2 later.
Well, they'll return in greater numbers.
Yeah.
Milky, you still
Okay.
you still go though because that wasn't
Yeah.
the question.
Of course. What's your local base ID?
Oh God.
Local base ID is 348.
Mine is 275.
Wow, those are both really low.
Okay, let's keep this rolling. Do you have axle loading by chance?
Can you repeat that?
Do you have axle loading?
I do.
Okay, how about that?
71,680.
Wow, I did not expect that of you. I'm at 69,740.
So which is better, higher or
Nice.
lower?
Lower.
Yeah.
Boo.
That's generally that contributes to your minimum weight of rail pretty heavily, literally.
So that explains to it. Okay.
Well, that's because of the spring balancing, because of slippy problems.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Trippy boy. What is your weight on Tribers?
The way Alice gasped. Weight on drivers is 29,910. I mean, 279,910.
Mine
Jesus.
is 200. Yeah. I knew you had some weight off of your
I
Tribers.
actually filled the boiler with
yeah.
helium.
Yeah.
On a diet.
Okay, mine is 278,200.
Wait, what was yours?
279.
And Milky was
278.
278.
Oh my God!
What the hell?
How is this happening?
These are so much closer than I expected.
It's like
So,
I didn't expect this at all. Jeez.
All right.
Okay,
Milky.
what's your engine weight?
500,000 and 200.
Okay. Mine is 441,300.
Wow.
Wow.
Tender loaded weight.
Oh no.
442,500.
367,700. And
Ouch.
what's the total engine and tender weight?
944,700.
Oof. Mine is a nice 809,000 even. So,
All right. Well, it's 9-1, and the only point that Israel has is because Jader gave him a
Yep.
point.
Well, once I get the bar back, I know some questions.
You're welcome.
well,
Yeah. Well, here's the thing,
Yeah.
Jader. I think you helped, but you also hurt, because that's one less question that Milky can ask.
Yeah.
That'll give East the ball back.
Oh well, damn it.
I know it's kind of like well, it can help, but it can also hurt. So
what
yes.
are
Milky gets to keep going.
okay? What are your high pressure cylinders?
High pressure cylinders are 19.75 times 26.
Mine is 27 by 32.
Huge
Yeah.
cylinders.
Chungus.
Chonk. Although I'm not really the chonk here.
I mean, look at you though.
What's your engine wheelbase?
Engine wheelbase is 51.92.
Mine is 45.83.
Yeah. It was an easy one. Whoops.
And you know what? I feel like throwing this one out here for morbid curiosity's sake. Driver wheelbase.
Driver wheelbase is 13.83.
Okay, mine's 19.25. I figured as much, but I thought
Well-
I'd ask and give you a chance.
His. Oh, hold on. What was yours, Israel?
13.83.
13.83, and Milky's was.
19.25.
So his is actually shorter. So he wins.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Which I think is a weird one, because it I feel like steam locomotive in this case
Doesn't.
is misrepresenting
Yeah.
the statistic, because typically you get a shorter wheelbase like that when it's broken in two because it's a Mallet, and we tend to count that towards cornering. But that doesn't actually help the T1 here because they have
It's
those
a
two
rigid
wheelbases, but
Yeah.
they're rigid frame. Yeah, so despite the fact that he wins that, it isn't actually indicative of the fact that he corners better.
No.
Because he doesn't. Anyway, East, now is your turn. You're down by
Don't
9
mention.
points. Good luck.
Yeah.
Okay. So whoever carries the more fuel gets the point, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
and knowing my tender loaded weight was significantly heavier than yours, tender fuel capacity,
Tender fuel capacity, 26 tons.
42.
All of the coal. All of it.
How much coal can you carry? Yes.
And I'm not sure how much oil Wedding Troy 100 could carry.
Tender water capacity.
Tender water capacity. This is one that I kind of thought about for a little bit because I thought about it. Hold up.
Dangerous.
19,000 gallons.
19,200.
Oh
my God.
Wow.
I said dangerous because the PRR really relied on water scoops.
Yeah.
So that's the reason that tender has 42 tons of coal.
Yeah.
Not gonna ask that. Not gonna
I'm
ask
not gonna ask that.
that. Not gonna ask that. This one.
But what can you ask?
I know of at least.
I know of a few too.
Okay. I'll go for a firebox area.
Firebox area, 465.
490.
Okay.
What?
Wait.
Hold on. What?
Wait, hold up. Hold up.
Firebox area. 490. I'm not looking at the wrong stat.
I thought this man was going to ruin my career with that stat.
No, he did.
But at the same time, not as much as I thought.
Well, I thought it was going to be the opposite. You have a Wooten firebox.
Woo.
Yeah, what? What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess it's evidenced by the fact that if you look on the drawing of the T1 for the T1 Trust, that engine is like half firebox.
Yeah.
Anyway. Alright, Israel, you survived that one. Keep going.
Okay, evaporating heating surface.
Oh, I see. Jumping the stat.
You're approaching me.
Yeah. 4,920.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
4209.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what's the grade area?
92.
94.40.
Yeah, I didn't think I would win that one, so I skipped it.
Woo woo.
Yeah, and that's a fair thing to do.
What's your superheating surface? I'm curious.
Superheating surface is 1430.
Damn.
Oh, man. Wait a minute.
1,214.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, hold up. You were not.
For those keeping track at home, unless I missed one or accidentally added one, which I might have
Just
I might
a little biased.
It is now 7-13. We've crossed the 20-point threshold.
I don't exactly remember your evaporating heating surface, but what's your combined heating surface?
Oh no.
6,134.
I thought
Mistakes were made.
I thought I would get you with the superheating now. 5639.
Oof.
Yeah, it wasn't close.
Yeah.
What's your
That was
evaporative
not
heating
close.
surface divided by cylinder volume?
228.28.
Okay. Mine is 232.01.
Mookie wins by a little bit.
01 for the T1. What is your boiler pressure?
Ooh.
Boiler pressure is 300.
Damn it.
Yes.
Ooh.
240.
Wow, that's low.
Yeah, I would.
Hey, I have a question.
Okay.
Because I have to play this game. What is your driver diameter?
I was about to ask that. 80.
70.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. There's one for the
boys.
T1.
Um.
One for the. Did you say one for the boys?
One for the boys.
I'm gonna wait to say that one. What's your Robert Lemison's power computation?
Robert Lemison's power computation. Oh boy. I can't wait for that one. 22,656.
The higher number's better, right?
Yep.
Correct.
Higher number's
27,600.
Damn.
Wow. I'm actually kind of impressed
Yeah.
you won that one.
Yeah, I am.
Not what I expected.
Okay, hold up. Before I do the next one.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay. Same as above, plus superheater percentage.
Okay, 27,170.
34,500.
Oh, here we go.
Same
Come
as
on,
above,
Israel.
substitute firebox for great area.
Oh no.
133,920.
What was that?
133,920.
And the higher number's better, right?
Yes.
Okay,
With all of these, the higher number is better.
Okay, I'm 183,750.
Holy crap.
What the hell?
I mean, he does have a lot of firebox and a lot of superheater.
Yeah, I was just a little power L1.
Oh.
23,993.
Oh, okay, 42,367.
Okay.
Crap. Are you gonna do the next one?
Yeah,
You might as well.
Yeah, power MT.
760.54.
1334.76.
Oof.
Oh my god. What is a T1 doing? Alright, I have a question.
What?
Because this is an actual question, not like I'm giving you points. What is your tractive effort, both of you?
Traffic effort. Mine is 67,984.
64,653.
That is way closer than I
Yeah.
expected. Way closer.
Yeah, it's kind of being around numbers because I thought you had a little bit more. But
I kind of figured he didn't. But I thought that it's
yeah, again, I guess I overestimate how much of a
Who
chunk you are.
is your builder?
You know what? I was built by my railroad. Thank you very much. The
Builder. Several.
Several, but one of them is Juniata, so also built by the railroad,
Yep.
and the other one is Baldwin.
Baldwin.
Baldwin Master.
So if you want to get technical, the wedding T1s were built from Baldwin Consolidates. So
They were.
Yeah.
That is true.
So if you want to get
That is-
technical, Baldwin and Wedding.
Standards.
But technicalities, though.
I'm trying to scan through the list of things in my mind and come up with more stuff that we haven't covered, but we've actually covered most of it. It's like 15 to 16. That's a lot of points.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's actually a lot closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah. We did number built, right?
Yes.
Yep.
I'm not going to say it because that's a little too cheap.
I know.
Israel is another.
I know what you're talking about, Ellis. I see it. Don't do it.
Hold up and let me go
Do it.
through all of them.
No.
Do it.
Okay, we did that one. We did that one.
No.
Ooh, we didn't do that one. I'll try I can win it.
Okay. Do that one. Do
It
it.
may be the one Alice is thinking about. I hope it is.
Yeah.
Probably not. If you're concerned, it's probably not.
Ratio of driver wheelbase to overall engine wheelbase.
Yes.
That wasn't it.
No.
Yes. Mine is 0.42.
0.27.
Yeah, no, that was not a good one for you because you have a tiny
Yes.
wheelbase as recorded by Steam Locomotive. Fine, I'll ask then. What number in class?
30.
52.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the one I was talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, number
Alright.
class and number belt are two different things. I didn't even know this.
Exactly. That's the cheeky. You can double dip on that point.
Yep.
That's
There are
outstanding.
very
move.
few.
Standing move.
There are very few situations where you can't.
Okay, well,
I think that's everything.
let's jump into style points.
We have a Lego model.
Okay. That's
Well,
style point.
actually,
Actually,
Lego running to.
that's available
I
for
think you
purchase.
both have.
That
And
is commercially available for purchase.
okay, that is the style point.
fair.
That is the style
I will
point.
give you
That's a
that.
milestone.
Okay,
You both have
I
so
was gonna say,
trains models.
yeah,
You both have horseman characters.
yep.
Uh,
My lead and trailing trucks used roller bearings.
pretty sure the T1 did too.
Okay, you want to prove that?
I don't.
You want to fact check that?
I don't know how to check honestly.
And my tender does too.
I'm streamlined.
I need pictures.
He is streamlined.
How many of you survive?
A
0.5.
wheel.
0.5.
0.5. Well, I
Much
have.
more than a wheel.
Well, I have 4, and all of them have had hell of excursion careers.
Okay, well, how many of you are currently being built?
That's not a style.
No, that isn't a style point because there's 2 of me being rebuilt, which is more than you one being built.
Hey, style point for the PRT one. This is an actual style point. It has a folding coupler.
Okay,
That is a valid style
yeah,
point.
that
Do they
is very
both have
bad.
all-weather cabs?
Style point for being streamlined.
We already did
We
that.
got that one.
Style point for having water scoops, the PRT one.
Oh yeah, all-weather cabs, water scoops. What's another one? Speed holes. You have speed holes.
Yes, speed holes.
The T1 has that weird little, like the
It
extra
has like
light.
it's got like the shark RF-16 like shark nose.
Okay, Wedding 2100 had dick sykes for a while.
That's not a style point. That's
No, that's a style point.
That is the
That's
style
neat.
point for modern steam locomotive operation, god damn it.
Yeah. That's neat. I'll take
Yeah.
it. I'll allow it.
Okay.
Style point-ish. The PR has the unofficial record for the fastest steam locomotive. Not mistaken.
Will you? I'll put that to. I'll put that to the jury here.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
What about the S1?
Yeah, that's one though.
Yeah. The S1 got the S1 got a alleged speeding fine for 156. So I don't think T1 tops that.
Yeah.
However,
Speeding
the T1s were allegedly hitting 140 on a relatively regular basis, enough that the maintenance crews complained. So also the one being built is going to go and break the speed record. So there's that.
Okay, that's fine. I
that I think
hauled
is-
the American Freedom Train.
That's fair.
Valid.
That's a good style
Yeah.
point.
America.
Yes, you
Style
did,
point
Chris.
to be all scrapped within 5 years.
No.
That's a negative style.
That's an unstyle point.
I have a style point for the T1 that's really unconventional.
Okay.
The T1, the PRR T1 has marker lights built into the back of the tender.
Does the Wedding one?
I don't think anybody else has those.
Okay.
Pennsylvania being
The PRR were
Pennsylvania.
obsessed with extra sets of marker lights.
Yeah.
I see. That's actually really cool.
I do have a headlight on my tender, which I'm not sure if the T1 had.
The T1 does. It's centered.
Okay.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, so does mine.
Here's a hold on. I got a picture.
Okay, theme.
Cheater.
I was also used on the Chelsea Steam Special, which celebrated the
think that should be a-
150th anniversary, or the 150th birthday of the B&O, which was the first railroad in the United States.
Does having telephone
okay,
wire
that's fine.
count as a style point?
Actually, yes. You guys.
You're a stupid phone that cuts out every
There-
5 seconds.
Actually,
Yeah.
there are 2 style points associated with that I can come up with.
Give them.
The PRT ones had train phones, which were very innovative for the time.
It's valid.
The other very innovative thing that they had for the time was cab signals.
Ooh.
Also valid.
Yes.
That's something special, that's for sure.
Yeah. 2102 got dressed up as the D&H engine once.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll take that. I love me some D&H. Not that it looked good, but
No.
it was the D&H.
Is there any style point for the T1 Trust?
I mean, I think
we
that
already
could be lumped
added
into
that.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
building one that's going to
Yeah.
break the speed record.
Ah, okay.
It's a speed record thing.
I know we both have.
What's the
Physical
score
power.
before I start pulling desperate
It is-
strings?
It is 25-22. The PRT
I
one's up.
forgot.
Oh, okay.
I have a booster on my trailing truck.
It is worth mentioning that 6111 also had a booster, but it was not standard with the class, so you get that point.
Wow,
That's
something not
interesting.
standard on the PR.
Hey, these were experiments.
Yeah, that's true.
And here's something that is worth mentioning. And I'm not sure if this is worth the style point. If both you other guys think so, then that's fine. But if not, it's no sweat off my back. The T1s, the prototypes, they actually had a different streamlining than the production model. So the first 2 were streamlined differently. So that's technically 2 kinds of streamlining that were used over the course of the...
I actually want to see a
Intentionally
Is there
two
a picture
different.
that like compares the two.
Let me see if I can grab because you have Johnson, he was the prototype, but the production run. So you can also see
Also,
it very easily in the.
I'll resend a picture of Johnson.
four of my class were last team on the wedding. Yeah.
That's worthy.
Ooh, is this a live
Uh,
Steam PR Team 1?
Yeah, there is.
Ooh, is that...
Here is the production model, the production run.
I see the difference, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, actually the cylinders are exposed.
yeah. It's also with the skirting removed.
Yeah.
I think they might have originally come with different skirting, but.
What's that, light where the builder plate is on... not the builder plate, the number plate is on Johnson.
I don't know. They decided to have an extra light there in the condenser box.
Style point, extra light.
No,
Ah,
don't know about
More
that.
lamp.
more lamp.
more...
Even
Yeah,
if you
no.
got that point, wedding trying 100 had some
Hey,
weird.
what about the marker lights on the T1?
Ah, this is a... Oh yeah, we
The-
had marker lights
The
on.
T1s do have really neat recessed marker lights.
And then there's a
Also,
picture
I've totally lost
I
track of.
just sent of 5513. With
Also, I lost track of what have we covered recently? I totally forgot. I wasn't writing down points.
in a second.
He's in trouble.
No.
But I mean, do you think the neat marker lights are worthwhile?
Yes. I mean, does the other T1 even have marker lights? No.
It has to, doesn't it? Where are the marker lights? Milky, where are your marker lights?
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Try 100 does on the front.
Yeah. Okay. it'd
Where?
be better.
Okay, hold
Oh.
up. I will grab a picture of Try 100 for you. Or Try 1. Oh. There's too many
It
of
has
these.
to.
Yeah. Okay,
I
Jader.
think I have a
Wait,
point for the.
what? Is
Jader, here's mine. In a.
God, this thing has so much stuff plastered on the front of it.
They're mounted like a regular engine.
the quote T1 I just sent 6111 that's not a T1, is it?
No, that's
Yeah,
a
it is.
T1.
That's Stephanie. That is the other prototype.
Oh, okay, yeah, the prototype. I forgot. Yeah. I'm like,
Okay.
11? Oh yeah. Then
I had stairs on lead up to my border.
The production run of the T1's also at stairs.
Okay.
The PRT1's also at stairs.
Okay.
I will give you another point for whatever the hell we were talking about. I can't remember. I missed something, so you got another point, and then I'll give the PRT1 another point for the unusually sculpted.
Do I get a style point for my box on the front?
No.
No, because you both have a box on the front.
Okay, that's true. True. That's fair.
Do I get a style point for being one of the first rigid frame, no, not like separated northerns or whatever?
You got a duplex?
Duplex, yeah.
Does the T-1 get a point for operating across multiple different railroads? Operating in many different paint schemes, that's been a style point before.
Yeah, we kind of went after that with the.
I'll give another point for the long and storied excursion career of the Reading T1s.
Yes.
What are the style points up to now?
It's actually 26-25. The PRT1 is in the lead by 1 point.
If only Reading and Northern could finish theirs faster, I could say that I have one operational, but I don't.
Yeah. If only the Trust could finish theirs faster.
It's the small donation of a few $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it just me or in the picture that I sent, like, the nose gets thicker as the engine evolves? And also
they're
according to this picture, there's 3 versions of streamlining.
Oh, when were you retired?
No freaking clue. I already closed out the tab.
I already gave you the point for being the last of on your round.
Okay, that's. Well, I guess we could go off for revenue, but yeah. Because I was retired 1957 revenue, 1964 rambles, but.
Yeah, this is interesting. Showing the influence of maintenance men over designers. I like this. The customer's always right. Yeah, I didn't realize there were 3 different kinds of things.
That's a cool shot with all, 3 versions.
That is really cool. Oh, I don't know. Do you think? What do you guys think, Jader and TBA? Does the Reading T1 deserve another point for its longevity and service?
Yes.
Does the Reading T1 get what? I'm sorry, my internet's been so bad.
Okay.
Deserve another point for its longevity and service.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
It's been all over.
All right.
They've been all over the place.
No, I mean specifically on their home road, on the Reading. Because we gave them a point for excursion career.
Yeah.
We gave them 2.
I still think it does, yeah.
It deserves a lot. The Reading T1s are pretty...
It's a tie right now, so...
it is currently a tie, which is the most unsatisfactory ending. But, I'm trying to think of something else, but I don't have anything else.
This went from the game of offense to a game of defense real fast.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I guess that wouldn't really count as a style point.
Where the hell is Weibel when we need him?
The, leading diameter and trailing diameter doesn't really matter, does it?
I
No.
don't think it's ever come up before.
No, it
may
really
have,
hasn't.
but-
Wait.
Trailing
Diameter of the...
Yeah, and leading trucks. The
I
diameter
don't think that would...
it would matter too much.
Oh, hey, so this might be reaching a little bit, and I want you guys' confirmation on this. The Pennsylvania T1s had effectively an entire fleet of coaches tailored for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
And
good.
then I have a style point to counter that style point.
Yeah.
So we were used frequently in pool service with the Western Maryland, and they liked us so much that they based their Potomac class off of us.
That's a good style point. That is really cool. This is not a style point because the equivalent of, for the PRT1 because the equivalent of that is 6111, I think, being sent to Roanoke and them sending it back with a note that said, "Send us a real locomotive." or something to that effect. Yeah. What was, can't remember. Although, I will say that, and this is detailed in the Steam Locomotive article about it, but the T1s were mostly a victim of taking engineers from anemic K4s that had been in service for 30 years and putting them on a T1 and saying, okay, have fun.
Yeah.
And the T1s were just so much more powerful that they couldn't control them. Yeah. Lots of crazy wheel slip.
Yeah.
They fixed a lot of those issues as time went on, but not with the T1s. They fixed them with the Q2s.
Ooh.
Yeah, so the Q2 said that, like, wheel slip sensor thing.
Yeah, they had a mechanical wheel slip, like, stopper. I don't know what it was called. The T1s, the PRR T1s, though, they came in 3 different styles of valve gear, eventually. There was one that was refitted with wall shirts, and one that was refitted with Poppet B, which is very close to Caprati. Do you think that is a style point?
Poppet B, Williams.
No.
I mean, being fit with several valve gears is kind of impressive.
Yeah, but multiple engines.
Imagine a PR T1, but with like the front drivers are fitted with like valve shirts, and like the back ones are like Franklin or something like that.
Actually, I think this picture, I think, is... Hold on.
The one I just sent of 53.
No, 5547. Hold on, scroll up a little ways. It's it's the first one that I posted to show the other kind of styling. That's 5547. I think that's the one with wall shirts. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that is wall shirts valve gear.
Which one?
5547. It's
Wait,
it's the second picture I posted.
Yeah.
The one to show the streamlining.
Wait,
Well,
so would
look at
that
that.
nullify the point of him, the riding T1 also having valve shirts?
No, it doesn't, because that was a... Well, we crashed this one. Let's see if we can, put something interesting on it to play with later. It worked out, apparently. They really liked that one. There was one that was Poppet B, which is what's going to be used for 5550. And as well, that was a huge step up over the original valve gear, because it needed so much less maintenance. But hey, that's just me. Thank you for subscribing to T1 Facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, well, unless we've got other style points, then we can leave it there.
Not enough to be
Any way to help the T1 pull out one ahead?
Well, I have one for this one, but
Wrong T1?
yeah.
Hey, I've got one, actually.
Oh boy.
Wait. Well... Wait a minute. I guess I do. Because you're... Alright. Because... It doesn't look to me like your number boards light up on the regular. Your chessy ones do.
That is a style point. Number boards lighting up.
I was giggling about.
Yeah, I know what you were giggling about. Everyone can see it now. The viewers can see it.
You're welcome.
No, it's too large. I can't send it. Boo, Discord.
Everyone can see it.
So do you really need to... Wait. You said your number plate was set up, right?
Yeah, they light up.
Mine is directly under my headlight, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, well...
If
we
you
have one
can't...
directly- The T1 has a number plate directly under the headlight, too.
So, hold on. Hold on.
Also, my number's on...
What's the difference in the PRR T1s? Because, there's some that have, different grills on the front.
Different
And
designs.
different designs on the
Builders. The picture I sent, a few messages up, that shows the front
streamlining
of all
on the
three.
other. Is
Right
it
before I said this
is it
was
like
not-
the different
It changed
or
over
different
time
models
because
of one or something?
it changed over time because the early streamlinings, especially the prototypes, were a pain to work on, and they changed that between 6110 and 6111, and then the 5500 run. You know, you'll notice in the picture, like the one that Israel's talking about that he got sent, that they changed the enclosure for the coupler. They changed the actual streamlining styling itself and the shape of the nose. And then eventually they went back and they added walkways on the side, you know, stairs, and they shrunk that box even more. And they added the new marker lights up front.
Okay.
So it changed over time.
It is kind of cool to see the T1, you know, it come out and they're like they work out the problems but they keep the same kind of engine. Or
Yeah.
It just changes to make it.
To
They
make
worked
it
out all the
adapt,
bugs.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the
I
first image.
okay. So was that were we on trying out style point or just conversation about the engine?
was
Yeah.
it? I can't remember.
No, that was
I
just
can't remember where it started.
conversation about the engine.
Okay,
Not a
because
style point.
apparently in June 1956, 9 T1s were used to the Pennsylvania Railroad. So
Damn.
So we went on you guys' track. That's not where your style point. It's just more of a.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's just kind of something
That's more of a you
good
scrapped all your
tidbit.
stuff.
and you
Yeah.
just
And 21, 24 was in the movie. I'm trying to find the movie name again, but it was filmed in New Jersey.
Well, that disqualifies it.
It was filmed in New Jersey. Disqualification.
Oh, hey, if it was in a movie, there you go. That's your 28th point.
Yep.
What's your score now?
It's 27-28.
No. We need to do Johnson Prime. Alice
well.
voices him. The
Oh,
animal
voice actor is
voices him.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh.
I think it could have done 28 for multiple valve gears, but
Yeah,
that's not
that
super
should be a
important.
stop.
The Pennsylvania like to play with their stuff. All right. Well,
Did
let's leave
you
it
get
at
a
that.
style point for tender decking?
We both have tender decking, you buffoon.
But it's not. You don't have the T1 tender decking.
Right.
What does that mean?
But I do have the T1 tender decking.
That T1.
No, I do have the T1.
What are those like circular, like barrels on top of the T1's tender in the picture?
More air
on
reservoir
the
space.
roundhouse?
Tender
Extra.
But I
Extra air
also
reservoir
have
space.
tender deck.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, that would fall into streamlining, which we already
Anyways,
did. So.
I guess it's onto the votes.
Yep. All right. Hold on. Let me write this down. Here.
Votes.
Very, very
You're
sad.
T1 versus.
I would have never thought that I would have defended a wedding mention so hard.
The only votes I care for.
All right. I'm gonna have to fill this out. Winner Reading T-1 by the points. Points 28 to 27. And who are we voting for, boys?
I'm gonna get shit.
Yes.
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 So Trader's going for
person
the T1.
I was about to say first person that says the T1 is in trouble.
Well, shit. Okay.
Point.
No. Fuck off. I'm gonna say the Pennsy T1 because they ran through Columbus, and especially towards the end of Steam.
I was about to say, didn't they live in Columbus? Then I realized they live in Crestline.
They ran down here.
Yeah.
Like,
Crestline was the roundhouse for them, though. That's where they kept all the duplexes. Oh,
The
they
duplex
had the
eye.
T1s, the duplexi. They had the T1s, the Q2s, the S1 in its own massive stall. It looks real derp.
oh, wrong chat.
The S1 could not fit on the
I can
turntable at all.
imagine.
Oof.
The Q2s and the J1s, when they had those there, could also not fit on the turntable, and they needed to use little extenders to let them hang off the ends while they turned it.
There's
They
not
had to do the same thing at the Penzi Roundhouse in Columbus when they leased the Santa Fe 210-4s.
Yep.
Yep.
They were just a little too long.
Yeah.
Okay,
Those were some
well,
sketchy pictures.
What are?
With the
Let me see. Oh, of that. Oh, yeah. There's
with the tender
roundhouse.
or with the rail extender things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sketch.
East Rail just posted the Crestline Roundhouse. You can see the extended stalls on one side, and then the extended stall with the S1 actually parked behind it.
Where's the extent? Oh, wait.
It's the one on the far left.
On the wider shot, not the close up.
Yeah, on the wider shot.
That is the S1, as in
Oh,
the only S1 made.
there it is.
Yep.
Oh, look at that.
Samson. Right there.
The S1. The one and only, the biggest on the
And
railroad.
in this corner,
The biggest chunk.
The
It was the longest steam
S1.
It was the longest reciprocating steam locomotive ever built, the S1. But this is not S1 locomotive versus. I'm going to vote for the Pennsylvania Railroad T1 because
It is now.
I have
I
to.
wonder why.
Thanks, you prick.
I'm completely obligated to.
I know you are, Johnson. I know you are. You're voting for yourself.
Yeah, I am. PBA,
Calm down, Nick.
Hmm.
your vote.
Oh,
Your life
The T-
depends on this.
the T1.
Vote wisely.
God damn it!
Wait.
The PRR T1.
Good boy.
Good
Well, it
choice.
wasn't
Man, not
completely
even a
good luck, but
pity
no, I'm
point.
No, because the T-1 is ugly.
Ooh. Ooh.
Style point. It's less characters to type out.
Actually, actually, it's easier to type Wedding 2100 than Pennsylvania Railroad 55. Fuck you.
What do you mean? You said PRR 5.
55. Fuck you.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
Call 555, fuck you.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know who really said F you?
Baltimore?
Specific
Uh,
employees.
No. This boulder.
Sorry.
Anyway, it's time to do the news.
Yeah.
Oh no.
While we're here, we might as well
Yeah.
cover this stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Amtrak was hit by a boulder.
Yes.
Yeah, what the fuck?
That's not a
It did not
boulder.
hit.
It's a
It did
rock.
not hit a boulder. It was hit by a boulder.
Oh, so like right
Uh,
past 68.
Yeah. There are very few details here, but this giant ding in the side of one of these old Horizon cars.
Oof.
This was Missouri River Runner Train 313 near Morrison, Missouri. I don't know where this is, but I don't know how a boulder hit the train where it hit it.
See, that's
It's
what I
like-
was trying to figure.
On the top of the car. You'd expect this if you were going through the Royal Gorge, but this is Missouri.
Well, wait. Near where?
It started with an M.
I like how in the video you can see the train just slowly pulling into the station and the car's like creaking.
With a giant dent.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was in Gasconade County, or Morrison, Missouri.
I'm looking this up.
In
Yeah,
Flatland.
figure out where that is.
Yeah, Morrison, Missouri.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like halfway between St. Louis and Kansas City.
It's in the middle of the fucking plain.
Yeah, where does this boulder come
Was
I
it
from?
just
don't
like
know.
a truck that like
well, there's no bridge. That's the thing. Well, no, there's no road bridge for it, or like where a truck carrying a boulder might fall off.
no. The
There's-
truck
I don't think
deja.
this boulder came from a truck.
No,
There's no
the
bridge
truck
though.
deja vu'd, and the boulder flew out the back of the truck.
Flew through the air.
Yeah. It was 10 plus style points for hitting the roof of the car.
Right.
Oh wait, you said it was
10 points for
Gasconade?
Gryffindor.
No, there's no bridge there either. I think.
I really don't understand how this happened.
Nope, no bridge. It's a crossing. What
Maybe
the
it
hell?
started
It
raining.
wasn't a boulder. It was one giant hailstone,
Yeah.
the size of a car.
An absolute unit.
Maybe it was something the Missouri River washed up.
But how would it
Yeah.
get on top of the fucking
Into
train
the
there?
air.
It said yeet.
Anyway,
It had the high
speaking
ground.
of things that got cheated, and also more passenger train trouble. So, we all remember the ailing Churchill line, which was shut down for over a year,
Yep.
which runs from the Via Rail main line way up north to the tiny town of Churchill, Canada. Somehow, in the middle of nowhere, going down a dead straight piece of rail, train 692, heading southbound, left the track, and the F40 tipped over and took the first car with it, and most of the rest of the train derailed. It seemed.
It's taking a nap. Let it sleep.
Yeah.
There were 12 passengers.
So like your
Yeah.
average Amtrak train.
No,
4
nope,
cars
no,
and
no,
12
12
passengers.
12 people, including crew.
Okay.
And it was like, damn, at first I was like, damn, that's a lot of train for not a lot of passengers. And then I realized, oh, this is the Churchill line and it's the middle of winter.
Yeah.
Who is going there in the middle of winter? These are people leaving. So,
Is it just me or is there 2 F40s leading the train? It looks like.
wait.
Because if you look at the Twitter and in the top right photo, you can see the roof of definitely doesn't look like a passenger car.
Oh, yeah. There were two F40s on the head, by the looks.
Oof.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
That is-
Crunch.
But at least everyone was okay. You really gotta wonder what the hell happened.
Maybe it was the same boulder that hit the Amtrak train.
Maybe.
Yeah. They
It's like-
hit it so hard that it flew through the air.
It's like the boulder from fucking Thomas. It has a mind of its own.
Where can I go from that?
Boulders with a mind of their own?
Something Brightline killed someone.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
It has more of a mind than the city of St. Louis does with their damn trolley. I'm sorry.
Go on.
I supported this for as long as I could, and now just in the trash their operations.
I'm about to end this whole man's career.
Yeah.
So anyway, they broke down during their last ever wide. Man, you poor sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please sell us our cars back. And if you could sell those W-2s to us, we'd appreciate it too.
Oh, goodbye,
Aren't
TDA.
Don't they run, like, replica cars?
They won 2 Melbourne, or they were supposed to run 2 Melbourne W-2s and 2 replica cars. 2 replica cars, if they went back to Portland, would be used way better than they were in St. Louis, but that's my opinion. Because I'm of the opinion that they should never left Portland.
Speaking of trolleys, the Minnesota Streetcar Museum decided to deja vu and multi-track drift one of their trolleys.
Congrats, you guys.
Outstanding.
Where is this?
Great execution.
Where is this? Which article is this?
I copied it somewhere here.
Ah!
Bad.
Right.
Bad drink.
Is that this one?
Yes,
Yep.
it is, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was gonna segue to this one because I was like, we
Yeah.
have 2 deja vu trolleys in one episode.
Any?
Congrats to our friends at the Minnesota Streetcar Museum.
Yeah.
For doing
Doing
this.
For doing the impossible.
Yeah. And then
Well,
the casualty was the fence, so it's fine. Yeah.
There's even. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I
knocked
see
the
the
fence.
fence ever so slightly tumbled over,
They should have kept going.
Yeah.
just into the station.
Listen, it's all about style.
Yeah. But it was all because of the spring switch. Yeah, it happens.
Yep, that'll happen.
Well, while we're speaking of trolleys and streetcars and shit like
Hey!
that, our project up at the museum right now for fundraising for Columbus Street Railway 703, we are less than $5,000 away from being fully funded.
Congrats! Yeah. From one project head to your museum. Congrats.
Thank you.
It ain't
Yeah, that's
easy.
great.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can do this, get it running, and then fundraise for a fucking car barn.
Yeah. Then you
I
can use
mean-
it as a reason to build to build a barn.
I mean,
Yeah. Keep Columbus on your surviving streetcar
in my
undercover.
my opinion, we should just be fundraising for a barn to begin with, but I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I know that feeling all too well because now we're doing it.
You can't see my my frustrated hand gesturing.
Yeah.
Babadaboopy.
Although our car barn has stepped up most of the car restoration stuff that we could be doing in the meantime, but that.
Speaking of fundraising, actually, and things that are underway, the first leg of the Honolulu Light Rail Network could be, they say, opened by October 20th.
So it'd be
Of
the
this year,
railroad
which-
to somewhere.
Yeah, I had no idea this project was actually going anywhere.
Oh.
Apparently it has been.
I hope
And-
they build a little spur so if I wind up getting that SP business car that's been to 49 states, I can pop it
Yeah.
down in Hawaii. Say it's been in 50
Yeah.
states.
Now all
I'm
they
not
need
sure
is
you'd be able to do that, but you know.
now all they need is a steam engine and
Yeah.
Rhode Island and steam engines.
Yeah. But that's actually kind of exciting. I mean, they expect it to be done in 5 years or so, and you're going to be able to ride it by the end of this year, hopefully. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, sugarcane engines. Am I a choke to you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they have all their little
Yep.
240s and shit.
The Cane Boys,
Yeah.
which we talked about last episode, they're kind of in trouble.
Yeah,
But you know who's beyond in trouble?
Iowa Pacific.
Brightline.
Yes, but actually no. Yes, Brightline. Or not Brightline. Jesus.
Virgin
Iowa
Trains
Pacific.
USA.
Stop just saying things. The Adirondack Scenic is beginning the abandonment process.
Yeah.
So the board voted 20 to 0 unanimously to ask the Surface Transportation Board to initiate an abandonment process for the rail line between Hadley and North Creek. So
Rest
say
in
goodbye
peace.
to the Adirondack Scenic.
Did you ride them while you were up in New York?
I did not actually. I kind of missed the boat on that. They were already going out when
Okay.
I was there, and if I had been in a better position, I might have considered going up there, but I was never able to.
Okay, that's fine.
I believe the Adirondack Scenic is the home of the famous foamer. You know, oh, it's a BL.
No, that's the Saratoga and North Creek.
The
Yeah.
Saratoga. Yeah, that's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep. The Saratoga and North Creek is the Adirondack Scenic.
Okay.
So
Sad.
rest in peace, the home of that.
Love
crazy
you
foamer.
all by the BL2 too.
Yeah.
The song is great.
Yeah.
So not only, I mean, they're going down the drain, and so is everything else related to Iowa Pacific.
There's
So let's cover all those. bits
two
news right
of
now.
their British heritage railways that are being sold. The Trains Magazine article is for subscribers. So I can't give much more detail other than they're being sold. Or they're for sale right now. And
Yeah, well,
Jader, I'm sure, can talk about it more with our favorite little railroad here.
Yeah, so the
Hey there.
Rio Grande Scenic, owned and operated by Iowa Pacific, is
Otherwise known as the Slurge.
yeah, Slurge.
San Luis and Rio Grande.
Slurge. They are.
Yep.
Let's see. The gist of the
Accurate.
article. Let's see. Yeah, the gist of the article. They are just saying, the history of the line and what they did with it. So yeah,
It's struck
They
me down
didn't
and
dual
everything is
gigs
for
with
sale.
Alamo, so
everything's for sale. As of 2019, their 2 steam engines were under restoration, and all the rolling stock and everything's for sale. So hopefully they wind up in good homes.
Yep.
I would
Might
say,
well get 'em.
but I would say let's get one. Let's get one of those out. Let's get 18 back east where it belongs. But
Beta Rail would like a word.
yeah.
I mean, if I guarantee if we had the budget, we'd go for it.
Yeah, that'd be a great little engine to have.
yeah.
There's always the 20. That's a little bit cheaper, and then we store it.
Yeah, but she'll kill you. Oh, wrong 20, sorry.
Yeah.
Alright.
Right?
Speaking of things for sale, though.
Yeah.
If that's all there is for Iowa Pacific, I don't know how much we actually have.
That's all I have.
Yeah, that's all I have too.
Welcome
the
back.
MBTA.
Alright, let's.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah,
The
let's.
Thank God.
You summoned him by saying TBA.
No, the MBTA
Close enough.
is selling off
They're doing
lots
it.
of trolleys.
Yep, it's still doing it. God damn it.
About 10 years ago, the T disposed of the entire old Blue Line fleet, and in the coming years, the MBTA will also be getting rid of hundreds of orange and red line cars that are being phased out and replaced by 404 new subway cars. There are currently 7 light rail cars up for auction, and they're vintage trolleys made between 1978 and 1990 that have been retired.
Oh, I think I see a few Boeing no.
Yeah,
the Boeing
there are some Boeing cars. There
Okay.
are some cars built by Kinkishario, and a shop-made flat car, which is included in the sale.
Nice.
The site is accepting bids until January 28th.
I can see a certain Eastern museum going after this.
Yeah, the Seashore is probably going to snap up one
Yeah.
of them.
That certain Eastern museum.
The old cars go up for auction. These are not operable cars, though. They've been
Well, that ain't a problem
salvaged
for
for all they're
Seashore.
worth.
I said that ain't a problem for Seashore, but
Yeah.
because they rebuild cars, obviously, not the fact
Also,
that they
they're,
have
you know-
so many that are inoperable right now. But that's beyond the point.
Also, some of them are Boeing
I'm
cars,
not
so they're
salty.
basically inoperable all the time.
Yeah. Okay, then in that case, just sell them to a scrapyard. It's easier that way.
He's got a point.
From my experience with Boeing cars.
With Boeing cars. Ouch.
Yeah.
They should just stick to planes, not trains.
And they did.
Yeah, they really should.
And look at where
After
that
that-
got them.
You know who shouldn't have meddled in the affairs of Eastern locomotives?
Oh boy. Who?
The Grapevine. Because they paid dearly.
Actually, some
Oh,
breaking
yeah.
news coming out.
Not actually. They just had a minor derailment, but I just want to be upset with them. I wish we had Kavan here on this one to talk about this
Yeah.
because he was on that train.
Yeah, I think it was one of the last ones of the year too, or it may have been the last one of their polos. But
Well, it
Yeah.
ended up being.
yeah,
I don't know if that's true.
source needed.
Yeah, source needed. Where's Kavan?
Sauce.
Kavan, get him in here.
Sauce
At
needed.
Kavan. But you know what does have a source? Stater, and with their contract with Dart for FERT maintenance, which makes a lot of sense because they made the FERT.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that does make sense.
And they seem to be doing a good job of. I'm just.
Yeah, I mean, I like them.
I do
They
too.
got someone named Ellis.
Yeah. I gotta go in their double deck sign. That was cool. That was dang.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would go back.
Yeah.
I'd work there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of work, there's been work going on with the 2926. They have a few work status updates on their website, which I believe are this. And they got a nice news article win about them, about the thousands of hours that the volunteers have put into restoring the engine. Which,
Yeah.
it's all worth it because she got fired up there.
Yeah, it's exciting how
Yeah.
close 2926 is from getting done. On the other hand, the main Central 470 just ordered a new tender.
Hey.
I wasn't aware that they needed a tender, but that's just one of those things where sometimes it's way more worth it to just get another one.
Yeah. Oregon Coast Scenics doing the same thing with Pulse and Ogden 90.
Are they getting a new tender?
Yeah. Basically, the trucks and the frame are going to be rebuilt, but there's going to be a new tank and a new oil tank made for it.
I can't read the article.
Isn't too uncommon.
No.
3713
3713 did that.
Just about every mixer and even most miners seem like restorations do this.
Because I think number 3's tender tank is.
Yeah.
Well, because if you get one, it's not like they're super difficult to make. They don't have to pass crazy inspections, but they do need to hold water.
Yeah.
When they stop holding water, it's not worth it
Yeah.
to try and fix the damn thing.
Yeah, no,
Otherwise, it's just cheap metal, basically.
It's just cheaper at that point to make a new one. But yeah, so they almost doubled their amount, or no, they're about halfway there actually for
Who are?
Oregon Coast Scenic on their fundraising for the tender, and then they're going
Over
to
90.
Yep, and then they're going to evaluate the engine.
I like how they're just buying the tender first.
Well,
We'll get this.
They got donated the engine, the tender, a passenger car, and a caboose. So they have full ownership of it, but they're just working on the tender first. Which, it makes sense. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's putting the cart before the horse a little bit. You want to make sure the engine is decent before you spend all the money on a tender.
Speaking of stuff being taken away from maintenance, if I may.
Uh-oh.
CSX plans to basically cut the city of Chesapeake in half
Oof.
because of maintenance.
Oh yeah, is TVA here? Because every time he's on, is he here right now? Because
Nah.
every time he's on, we talk about a town getting cut in half.
Nah,
He's not here.
he's gone.
Damn it.
But
Rest in peace.
a lot of, and also Suffolk, Virginia, and Portsmouth, Virginia, also are going to be cut in half, thanks to CSX being CSX.
Yeah, for like large parts of the day,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I remember reading this article.
it's kind of funny.
It's funny, but it's like, what the hell?
Precision railroading, we like.
How do you expect people to deal with this? You're gonna shut people in their, basically in their cul-de-sac for 12 hours a day. That's not good. What if there's an emergency? I feel like you shouldn't be allowed to do that. I don't think you're allowed to do that. I'm amazed that there isn't a lawsuit about it.
Yeah, wasn't there a while back a lawsuit over
Yep.
Pacific planning to run longer trains and be like, yeah, no.
Yep.
Well, there were a couple articles on them just parking them and blocking crossings for hours at a time. So, people were upset with them. Speaking of lawsuits, though, I can't read this whole article, unfortunately, but there is a Florida county that has been trying to keep Brightline from doing Brightline things, from building.
From killing half the population.
They have ended... the word you're looking for is culling, not killing.
Purging.
Florida County ends Brightline appeals, still seeks crossing compensation. So they still want money for Brightline building through the town, but they've basically given up on stopping them entirely. So good, go Brightline, go forth and murder.
Make the money off of the mouse.
You cut
Brightline
out,
actually,
like, as you're about to say murder people.
Oh no.
It's like perfect timing.
FBI.
there was a Brightline hit of a car, and I think there were two of them actually. within the last couple of weeks. Brightline smashed the front end of this generic-looking sedan and got a little bit damaged, and the driver was hospitalized. I don't know what happened. The driver of the car tried going around a downed warning bar as the train was nearing the intersection.
Congrats for the man.
Florida man. North Miami Beach, here's the other one. A Mini Cooper got hit. Brightline train, which headed northbound at the time of the incident, could be seen stopped about a half mile down the road. The crash involved the train and a vehicle that was stuck on the train tracks. I don't know how that happened.
Car probably died.
Yep, so I guess there wasn't...
I think I saw this thing...
No one was hurt.
Sort of a sidebar. But you know what? It was in... I think it was in Florida, too. On the Sunrail commuter. They go like north out of Orlando. But I saw this thing where this lady's car got stuck on the track, and from what the news story said, like it was one of those cars that shuts off when you stop at like a light or in a drive-through or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like she stopped on the track, like I think for a red light, and it shut off.
Oh
and
no!
The train was coming, and it didn't restart.
Mm-hmm. That's unfortunate.
Yep.
I feel like we talked about it on here.
I think we might have. Is that the one where the police officer, like, saves the day?
Maybe?
Because there was... Oh, maybe... No, I think that might have been in Utah, actually.
There were 2 more incidents, including railroads in Florida. One was Brightline related, but I don't think we have the link for it, but I remember reading about it. Brightline hit a Georgia Tech future football player.
Ooh.
It was really suicide. And a CSX train with Norfolk Southern Power ran over a cop.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah, the cop was chasing a criminal running down the tracks, and you can see on the cop's body cam, it's actually kind of funny. You just see the train slowly start creeping up over his shoulder, and I don't want to say cowcatcher, but you know what I mean. Clips the officer, yeah. And the officer does a sick 180.
It's not really...
That's not... Yeah, that's not that funny.
Nah, he survived minor injuries.
You know what's funny? Terrorists. Not really, though. But in this case, a Pennsylvania man has admitted to sabotaging railroad signals and faces terrorism charges. I don't know what was up with this guy. 26-year-old William Brown of Elizabeth on Monday pleaded guilty to 2 counts of terroristic attacks and violence against a railroad carrier and mass transportation on land. He detached 4 railroad signal antennas and caused complete signal failure by cutting cables. He also severed signal wires near McKeesport. He faces up to 20 years in prison and a fine of $250,000 when he is sentenced in May.
Oof.
First of all, 2 things. 1, don't mess with the railroads,
because
they will get you. 2, it took them 3 years to get him.
They will
just throw it out there.
The railroads will get you. Maybe not today, but they will get you.
But they'll find you. And they have a very particular set of skills. Unfortunately, those skills don't involve tracking people down immediately, but they'll get to you.
You know who else could have a particular set of skills?
Oh, no.
Whoever's going to have to tear down this DC trolley bridge.
Which is a neat-looking bridge, I'll admit.
Yeah, it's a neat-looking bridge, and...
I'll share it with the audience.
Unfortunately, it's a bit of a fall hazard, so...
Yeah. Looks like it.
As most bridges around these kind of trails are.
How much of a fall hazard?
Oh, well...
I like how the Metro owns the bridge. Which makes sense, obviously, but it's like...
Even though they haven't won a streetcars since the 60s. At one point, DC had a grandmaster plan of having a really neat streetcar network, but that was back in the 40s, and the automobile and bus kind of killed it.
Yeah, that looks pretty sketchy.
Yeah.
Area closed due to hazardous conditions. Trail closed for bridge repair. How long has that been closed? A long time.
Yeah.
Speaking
Yes.
of sketchy stuff, some
no.
people rode a Durango and Silverton train. Not sounding
That's pretty
scary,
sketchy.
right? Okay, so
Wait.
they got off at the Needleton stop with a load of hunting gear and bags containing equipment that would normally contain a cart. And as the train was leaving, they took out the equipment and assembled basically a hand cart on the tracks.
That's awesome. It's illegal, but awesome.
Yeah. And it's
Oh
like,
my god.
and it's like
Now
the
they
cart looking for fires to encounter the man. Like after, like the trains, how they have the cars to go after and make sure they don't start another fire.
Yep.
Yeah, they caught the cart going up the track.
Oh boy.
And
The pop guard driver told the guy, that's not legal, but the guy got really aggressive, started yelling, and seemed unstable. Jesus Christ.
Wow. Man, must have been a hot day for the Pod Patrol.
Yeah.
Speaking of fire in DNS,
Oh no.
there's the judge's recommendation is that the lawsuit should proceed no matter how dumb it is. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's just 2 articles on it saying that basically the judge thinks that it should proceed, and it's probably going to get held up in court for a while, and probably ain't going to find anything other than people are idiots.
I mean, they've deemed that the DNS caused the fire. Whether you want to believe that or not is up to you, but that's what the professionals determined.
I could believe it, but at the
They,
same time,
it is standard operating procedure of the federal government to engage in this to recoup costs from firefighting
yeah.
from the people who started the fire. This is an extraordinary case for sure. I would expect. I'm not surprised that the lawsuit didn't get thrown out overall, because I feel like that would be pretty unprecedented. I would expect this to be pled down, settled out of court eventually.
Yeah.
This is just one in a series of steps between the fire happening and the federal government getting the money for fighting it.
Yeah.
I don't like it any more than anyone else does, I'm sure, but it's not really surprising that the lawsuit is going to continue, and then it's going to go into litigation, and then it's not like the government is going to go to the DNS and go, okay, give us $44 million right now, or else.
Yeah.
It's $44 million. People don't have that in their back pocket, even.
unless you're Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially in the
Jeff Bezos.
DNS where their parent company had to shut down the Mount Wayne News Scenic because of the fire.
Yeah. I mean, the DNS is supporting these other operations. Speaking of supporting operations, and some supporting others, this is a great article by the Wall Street Journal about Amtrak and their current operating procedure. And, surging Amtrak seeks green light from Congress. Now, in a nutshell, because unfortunately I can't read the whole thing, but in a nutshell, this is about Amtrak has finally hit the break-even.
Yeah.
This year, or last year, I suppose, was a
Good year.
yeah, it was a good year for them financially. It was the watershed moment of, okay, they can finally they can finally say that they aren't losing money. Now, they did that under dubious circumstances by cutting things like dining cars and stuff. And obviously a lot of people don't like that, and they're threatening to cut long-distance services, as we've heard 100 times before. And this means that despite the fact that they are making money, Congress, who is beholden to their constituents, who generally don't like
10 minutes.
Amtrak getting
Net
cut.
time. 10 minutes. 10
Gotta go to bed.
Somebody's in trouble.
Lightning round.
Shush. Shush.
I'll just write out a thing and a guess for
Another way
latest train on Amtrak.
Amtrak
Just write it down
is-
on the terminations.
is making money is charging people in wheelchairs $25,000 for a ticket.
Yeah.
Okay, have you looked into this article? Because I did a little bit, because it got sent to me, personally. So, Amtrak, this was on, like, a Missouri River Runner, I think. Hold on, let me pull this up. It was on one of these shorter services. Chicago to Bloomington, Illinois. Okay, so I think that's the Wolverine. And there were, like, 10 people that needed wheelchairs or something. Five or, several. Many people needing wheelchairs. And Amtrak, despite being ADA compliant, they only have so much wheelchair space on a train. Like, 5 people use wheelchairs in the group out of 10. The train had 3 cars. That's it. And each one has a space for a wheelchair. So that meant that they had to either, they had to remove seats or, like, add more cars or something. And they were, previously they had actually removed the seats for them and it cost a couple $100. And now they charge them $25,000 to remove those seats. So, yeah, the cost is correct. There's some sort of new policy. Yeah. That's not great.
No.
The other thing is that they did... I recall reading that they did offer to split the party and put them on 2 trains. One would take the first, and one would take the second. Because the service on this line is fairly frequent.
Yeah.
And that they didn't take that as an option. But I assume they didn't take it because they figured the cost would be a lot lower than $25,000. Yeah, there's a lot of new policy causing this outrageous cost to be applied to these riders, but also there's another solution that they could have if they really decided to go for it, because it's a 3-car long train.
Yeah.
Also, I'm wondering if it would cost less, probably would, to just get 2 additional cars
Yeah.
Yeah.
to stick on the train.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out where that $25,000 is coming from.
Anderson.
But
That's where it's coming
there
from.
may not be
Mr. Anders.
ready for service at its termini, or like etc. So they may have to like bring an extra one from God knows where, Chicago for all I know.
Well, this was the cost to just remove the seats, And one of the terminating points is Chicago.
Oh.
They've got a lot of stuff
Yeah.
there. So,
Yeah, they
Yeah,
could
I
take
don't-
something out of their shops, that's in
I
stores.
feel like
Yeah.
they could get away with something.
Yeah,
I feel like they could figure this one out.
they could.
But they both could. I don't know. Now, as for figuring stuff out, the MBTA had to figure some stuff out a little while ago, a few days ago. There was a signal issue, which meant that the entirety of the Framingham-Worcester line was stuck. They could
Wow.
not... They were told to get off the train and asked to find another way home. And why? Why did this happen? Well, the MBTA says this is Verizon's fault. Hold on. Where does it break down that? It says Verizon to blame for Tuesday's mess. There was a defective component that is used by Keolis to connect its signal system in Worcester to its Boston-based dispatcher. So
This wouldn't
They
have
were
happened if
connected.
it was Sprint SP knew what they
Yeah.
were doing with Sprint.
Yeah. Yeah, shame on you, Verizon,
Yeah.
I guess. And people were so upset at this that they decided to get back at the train. Okay, maybe not quite, but someone in Cape
State
Cod...
police wanted...
Oh, crap. Someone in Cape Cod decided to ally themselves with Big Concrete, and they pushed 5 concrete blocks onto the tracks in Bourne, which is towards the Cape,
Yeah.
hoping to damage an oncoming train. The train was going slow enough when they saw the blocks that they were able to stop in time. Some of those blocks weigh 200 pounds. Yeah.
Massachusetts, man.
Yeah. The railroad is the way most of the garbage is removed from Cape Cod, so that would have been a really crappy situation.
Yeah.
Also, those are the same tracks that the Cape Cod Central runs on, or the
dinner train.
the Mass Coastal.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, by the way, is an Iowa Pacific property. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, and they have surveillance video of this person rolling giant blocks of concrete across the platform out of the tracks.
Concrete.
So,
Goddamn.
but
Big concrete.
blocking trains is an art form.
Yeah.
In fact, they're doing it again in Kentucky. So, if you thought the situation was over when we last reported
That they had
Kentucky
been
coal
paid.
miners blocking
Yeah.
the trains of coal, you were wrong. Despite the negotiations that happened previously and the pizza that Bernie Sanders sent them, the miners in Kentucky are back out doing it, blocking the coal train to protest for unpaid wages. They allegedly haven't been paid since December.
Yikes.
And
This is why you
Quest
have
Energy
union.
disputed this and said that we have always paid everything we ever owe to our employees and will continue to do so. There have been times where the pay has been delayed, but we have always paid. Yeah, delayed until you blocked the coal train. Well, some of the miners received at least partial payments on Tuesday, others did not, and the group said it will continue to block the coal car on the railroad tracks until all are paid in full. So,
The coal car or cars?
it says coal car, but I assume they just
There's-
moved the train.
It's a train. Yeah.
Just a single car of coal.
Yeah. This car may not leave. That's pretty intense. Workers say they were inspired by another protest last summer against a different employer, so this is the one we were talking about previously. Miners blocked the tracks for 2 months. Around 1,100 employees ultimately won over $5 million in back pay. So, these guys are following that example, and good on them.
Good.
Get the money. Get that money.
Get the dough.
And we do actually have a second... We do actually have a second article about this, but there's nothing new.
Other than the fact that I mentioned it's an actual train. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
guess which road is not getting the dough?
Oh god,
UP.
name any of them. KCS?
I'll give you a hint. They begin with C and end in X. And like to blow up.
Oh,
CPX? Yeah.
CPX, eh?
Yes.
How tomorrow goes, eh?
Yeah.
Crash Mass explodes. Fourth quarter profit declines 9% as road hauls less freight. Who could have imagined?
Ah.
Freight equals
I
less
wonder
profit.
why.
Yeah.
CSX said its profit declined 9% in the fourth quarter as railroad hauled 7% less freight. The railroad said Thursday it earned 771 million or 99 cents per square, per share in the quarter. That's down from 843 million or 1.1 per share a year ago. Now, the ad right under that says Union Pacific now hiring, which moves on to my next article. Union Pacific Road is the community. Union Pacific says as after it cuts jobs at the
Yep.
So yeah, in Kansas City, Union Pacific is cutting jobs at the Armandale Yard in Kansas City, Kansas, not Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Less than 3 months after employees were laid off at Neff Yard on the other side of the state line.
We actually have a second article about this.
Ooh, great.
I'm just going to put it in the cargoes.
A Union Pacific leader representing the local union said that the yard is being shut down.
F.
So, yeah.
Oof.
Precision railroading my ass.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I mean, it's precise.
this. Hold on, like, God,
Hold up.
Lincoln. Wait, I have something to piggyback directly off of this. Trains Magazine did an article on our wonderful UP CEO here, Max Fricks. He touts new services, performance improvements under unified plan. Yeah, right.
Where is that? Oh
Right.
God.
Okay.
I'll sort this out. I got it.
Okay. Anyway, he outlines those points as well as a few more. The move away from unit trains is a part of a fundamentally changed service that is opening up markets, he said. Yeah. Right. Right.
11 out of 10.
Right, Mr. Frick. You may have funded a big boy, but you're not funding your railroad.
Hey, the big boy is important.
Yeah.
Remember the big boys. Also remember the New Haven.
Yeah.
Their Green Coast Studios just released an R2A mountain type for trains, 2019.
It looks pretty hot.
Special huge thanks to Trainman 7616, Train Boy 1, and Mika K. And yeah, these things are gorgeous.
Congrats,
$10.
Union. You did it. You became a train smaller, and I'm proud of you.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love.
Plus,
I love
it's more New Haven steam.
Yes.
Which
Haven
is
steam
wearing
great.
steam or wearing trains.
I mean, it's rare in general.
Yeah.
I'm probably about to get yeeted in like 3 seconds. I'm just going to quickly finish off my last remaining articles. So Trial sets a record for carrying the most passengers, almost 4.5 million passengers.
Holy crap.
The Isle of Wight is replacing its old tube cars, and a grain cart spilled its grain along the tracks, which made for a great hunting season along the tracks.
It also was really oddly satisfying.
Yeah.
All right, do you have a guess for the latest train on Amtrak?
Well, judging by Graham's image earlier, it's the number 6.
Okay.
Okay. I haven't actually looked.
Okay.
So we'll figure that out later.
I'll
All right.
skip to 2 hours into the podcast to...
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
Goodbye,
find
see
out.
you in Gulag.
Okay, goodbye. Also, FEC 113, best 113.
No, you're wrong. Goodbye. Let me remove his rank. Get him out of here. Speaking of records, actually, so TexRail just had its anniversary, and they crossed 500,000 riders. So, good job, TexRail. That's a big first year.
Yes, it is.
Yep. Congrats.
And keep on getting in Kevon's way.
Yep.
Now, for new railroads, or new railroad things, new passenger services,
Well, what's
Amtrak
that?
is looking at a service between Nashville and Atlanta,
Okay.
which would connect to the existing, I believe that's the Cardinal that runs the route through Atlanta? No, it's the Crescent, sorry, Crescent.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it would be kind of a spur route. It would just run Atlanta to Nashville, and Nashville's kind of in the middle of nowhere. I could see them going a little bit further and meeting up with the city of New Orleans.
But
Or
yeah,
even...
but again, their stops proposed are, in terms of Nashville, the National International Airport, which could be a good stepping stone for people that want to go to Atlanta faster. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can see the opportunities here, and it's not bad compared to some other ideas that Amtrak has had. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cutting down
And
car
apparently
service.
Apparently the traffic between the two cities is kind of intense.
Yeah.
That's what I'm reading.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wish them luck with this. This is a really out of nowhere plan, but I like it. And speaking of serious plans, Virginia just closed a $3.7 billion railroad expansion deal.
Hey.
Which, you must be a digital subscriber to view this article, but there's a lot there. There is a lot. I'm not even going to begin to break it down, but that's $3.7 billion of huge rail investment. So...
Speaking of rail investment, this is kind of your jurisdiction, kind of mine. It's our one that we kind of say. California High-Speed Rail is on hold.
No, that's not...
The Virgin Train
Wait,
US...
Shit, what?
That's,
if
you're...
California.
Yeah, this is Brightline. This is not California High-Speed Rail. This
Well,
is Virgin Trains, the Los Angeles-Las Vegas train.
Okay, private. My bad. It did mention private. Not
Desert Bright.
Not the fiasco.
No.
Okay, the one that's actually going somewhere until now.
Well, it's not going anywhere right now, but it's not stopped. It is, they're basically just figuring out where the money's gonna come from.
Yeah, which is saying bad thing.
No, they've got to do that.
I'm sure they did that for years with Brightline, so...
Yeah, there's another article here. I mean, they're still doing it. There's still friggin' litigation that we just covered.
Yeah, that's true.
There's another article here about that. Basically, they've hit a bit of a slowdown, but I don't think it's going to stop them very much.
No.
The other thing, speaking of rail expansion, is Frontrunner is looking to double track its main line and increase speeds to 90 miles an hour. So that is they are going to start with $34 million in annual funding to begin work of double tracking the Frontrunner line. And it is one of the notable items in Governor Gary Herbert's $3 billion state budget for the coming fiscal year. This will seriously increase frequency as well as increasing speed. And also, there's a part of this plan that involves bringing in electrification to Frontrunner. So, that is a huge step up. The statistical modeling done showed that if Frontrunner upgrades were accomplished, along with appropriate land use strategies and instituting system-wide free fares, future ridership could be boosted from the expected 28,000 daily to 107,000 daily riders.
Wow.
Holy God. Wow.
So, I hope that's realistic.
107,000.
107,000 riders daily.
That's...
That is a...
Wow.
Yeah, that is a high... what that is equivalent to an extremely high-density subway line.
Like New York.
You know, yeah, like one of the main north-south lines in Manhattan or something. You know, that's pretty serious.
Yeah.
Now, if we want something a little less serious, and this is a entire character arc right here, the train display in the Dallas Children's Hospital was in danger, and thanks to public outcry, it is now not in danger and it's not going anywhere. So, the Children's Medical Center was going to remove the train display. There was an article published on December 31st about it, and immediately there was a petition to save the train display, which over 75,000 people signed, started by our very own Bradley Duncan. And the resolution was posted just 5 days later, or 4 days later, that the Trainscape will stay. And it will be incorporated into the lobby. So, how cool is that? What a quick turnaround. What a happy ending.
Yay, democracy.
I love democracy.
I love democracy.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what I else love? You know what else I love? Alcos. The Delaware Lackawanna has Alcos, and they posted record carloads last year.
Nice.
Almost 10,000 carloads in 2019, which is a 2.5% increase over the previous year. And that is
That's pretty good.
indicative of pretty extensive economic growth in the Scranton area and beyond. So, in Lackawanna and Monroe counties. So, go DL, and you should borrow an engine from Steamtown to run with. That'd be fun. Do that.
Yeah.
Once they get something bigger. I don't think I have any news on 3713, speaking of which, but let me go look at that while you guys talk about something.
Well, I do have news on an engine that's being worked on. White Pass 61.
Oh, them, yeah.
They're working on some of the outer components, the cylinder saddle, and they're brazing it, which I believe they're done with by now. But they're just kind of fixing one of those things that happens when you have an engine that's sideways in the river. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not great. It was in really, really rough shape.
Yeah.
You know, I looked at that, I saw the cylinders the way they were. And you know those things that are like, oh, you know, in China when they break a piece of pottery, they weld it back, or, you know, they fuse it back together with gold things in it.
Yeah.
That's what that looked like to me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
But
It's
good
like,
word
ooh,
being
that was really broken.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This is like the 3713 newsletter. It's like, oh, look at how shiny the tender is. Oh, look at how shiny the lead truck is. Oh,
Yeah.
look at this firebox. It's completed. Look at these new cylinder heads. They're done. Oh, it looks so good. I'm so excited about this engine. I can't wait to talk to them in a week. I'm gonna go talk their ears off at the show.
You know what engines I'm excited about? Baldwin
Shark
start noses. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Save the sharks.
The owner of that, and this is confirmed, apparently, has said that they will eventually go to museum. He didn't
really hope
specify
so.
which museum, but if I had to make guesses, IRM.
Yeah, I could see IRM getting them. I hope they get them as a pair.
Yeah.
These are the kind of things where it would be best if they were kept as a pair, and they were, I mean, I don't even know if, isn't one of them missing the prime mover or something?
I think it's like the crankshaft, which
Well, that broke.
I looked into it a while ago because these are kind of the curiosity things, diesel preservation. They're the kind of, these are still around, and we should make sure that they're still around. They've been a curiosity since they got pulled out of service in the 1980s.
Yeah.
But
Well, and they have such a storied history.
yeah, because they were ordered new for the New York Central, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Then they went to the Mahangaya, then the D&H, or something like that. And
I
then,
think they might have gone to the D&H first.
okay. And then they went to the short line that they're on.
Yeah, and
Yeah, they went to the Mahangaya, then were to be scrapped in 1974 when D&H purchased them. And,
oh, okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't realize that. I thought it was the other way around. Yeah,
Yeah.
they did go New York Central, Monongahela,
D&H,
Delaware and Hudson, and then
Michigan Northern,
Railway.
and the
Es-
Escabana and Lake Superior.
Escanaba.
Escanaba and Lake Superior. Yeah,
And now
and-
they're going to go to a museum. Eventually.
sooner or later.
Looks, I'm not surprised. They deserve it. Yeah.
I would hope
They-
that they,
It's kind of like the MDRS 1325s. They deserve it at this point. They're just so unique and rare that they just deserve to be saved. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, whether or not they run, I would love to see them run.
Yeah.
The RF-16 used an air-powered throttle. That's interesting.
Yeah, a lot of odd
Also-
stuff on them.
Oh, whoops, I accidentally copied over the tunnel motors thing, so
Oh,
just,
JR came out with tunnel motors.
yeah, JR
Yeah.
made some tunnel motors. Speaking of interesting locomotives.
Also, speaking of interesting locomotives, at least the A unit. Okay, yeah. So the two Norfolk Southern F units that Reading and Northern bought, they just finished painting the A unit in the last week,
Okay.
and it looks really sharp.
Yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah, it does.
And then the B unit will be up next, and then they're going to be running their maiden debut excursion with these April. Tickets for that sold out almost immediately. I think there's some coach seats left, but
Oh, yeah, they sold out wicked quick.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if I had the time, I'd go out there and like chase it or something. But I think the excursion is either the weekend before finals week or 2 weekends before. So no,
What,
Yeah.
you're saying you don't want to be out there on finals week? What are you doing? What are you going to do, study?
I mean, that's
Yeah, I know.
probably-
The Joey's Maddox did.
I mean, I would say yes,
Don't
but
encourage him.
Yeah.
working the Santa trains the Saturday before finals week was a bad idea.
Oh, yeah, Weibold can totally
Yeah.
understand you there.
Yep.
Well, we've got a couple of other little things. We've got a handful of other things.
Well, we have one.
I don't have anything specific.
I
I have one semi-major thing, which is the Tennessee and Wyoming sale to Brookfield, which
It's completed
yeah,
now.
it's completed. So, congrats. Hopefully you're out steam on your short runs. I would love to see our little query that we have. One.
Well, speaking of excursions, the Autumn Colors Express, the New River Gorge train, is actually going to return in 2020. So it ran in 2019 after, I believe, not being there for 2018 or
yeah.
something like that. And they expect the train to be 25 to 30 cars long
Holy
this
crap.
coming year. And they've added another day
Wow.
to the schedule.
Nice.
So that is exciting.
Congrats.
It's too bad it's too bad there's no Ocean View Dome car though. Rest in peace.
Now we're just waiting on the return of steam down there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Fort Wayne keeps giving they kept hinting on their page they kept sharing their posts and everything. It's like and then so did Kentucky Steam. So
Yeah, Barry.
Yeah, I know Kentucky Steam has been a big one.
Yeah, we
There.
watched them progress over the years during this podcast from an organization that started out on paper to an organization out there doing stuff. They own the building, they own railroad property. They've done a lot of cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I got to get down there and see it.
yeah,
Yeah, we have somebody that the guy that messaged me earlier wants to come on the show and talk about it.
Oh yes,
He's a volunteer with them,
yes.
and I'm just like, well, here's how you get on the show. Good luck. But we can talk about that more off camera.
all right.
The
The San
sale
Fe.
for the
Oh,
sorry to just talk about sales. The sale for the CM&Q is also been finalized.
Okay. Since TBA isn't here to talk about it, I need to talk about this. because this is unique. There is okay. So for years, there's been the Santa Fe Articulate Cover Hopper set roaming around.
Oh, the Super Hopper.
Yeah, the Super Hopper.
Super Hopper.
And there were only 3 manufactured. And one of them stayed in service for a long time until 2017. And one has been donated. Oh, it's an old article. God damn it.
Well,
it's been saved.
The TVRM got an office car.
Yeah, they keep getting things.
Hey, they're a good organization.
Okay, now
And they're big.
now I'll talk about stuff that actually happened this year. Fort Missoula is making process or has white future with their locomotive number 7, which is a Willamette type locomotive. Which, for those at home who don't know what a Willamette is, it's basically a say, but better.
I'm you, but stronger.
Yeah. Even if it is by one empty car. And interestingly enough, it's the only non-oil fired one ever built. Because
That is interesting.
because the Willamette Steel and Iron Works built all of them to oil, except for this one that burned coal.
Where did this one go to?
It was operated by the Anaconda Company, which, if I recall, was a lumber company. Yeah, I know it wasn't used side by side with my steeple cab, but
Well, if we're stealing TA's news, I'm just going to take one more part of it before we end off here and say that the Avalia prototype is the files have been formed, or the forms have been filed for the one-time move of the prototype Avalia to the Pueblo test track.
nice.
So that's exciting. It's finally, it's all coming together.
And my last bit of news is CW number 10.
What is CW?
Quasit Western, which is the Wenatchee Prairie's tank engine.
Oh, wait.
They have a GoFundMe up to help restore their engine.
Cool.
This thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, before we end this segment, I would like to say that we have 2 open slots for Locomotive Versus now, so if you have a Locomotive Versus idea, then feel free to post it down below in the comments section. That is where they go. And the first 2 that get in there are going to be the 2 that I write down for Locomotive Versus ideas, as long as we haven't done them before. So, with that, let's think about the latest train on Amtrak and make our speculations.
I think I know.
Now, East said he thinks it's number 6.
Yeah.
Which is the westbound?
I think it's eastbound.
I just closed the Terminus dock. Hold on.
God.
I want to say that it's the eastbound Suffolk.
Right. That is
could be wrong.
The eastbound Zephyr, yes.
Yeah.
That is the eastbound Zephyr. Okay, well, what do you guys think?
Well, I don't know. Last few podcasts, it's been very good for quite a few trains, except for the northbound Coast Starlight, I want to say.
Holy crap! All right, northbound Coast Starlight.
I want to guess the. Okay, let's do the southbound, the Cascade. The Cascade.
Southbound Cascades.
Okay, Trader. If you want to go with that, sure. I ain't gonna argue with that.
Okay, I'm gonna give
which one?
a minute to respond and see if he gets it.
Which one?
But
I guess the current southbound would be. I guess there's only one southbound about this time of night. Yeah.
There are
that's right.
two.
Thank you.
Wait.
Can I change my guess?
Technically, there are two. Yeah, you can change your guess.
Okay.
No, there are more than two.
Let's do the Eastbound Empire Builder.
Okay.
Eastbound Empire Builder. I think that's a much more valid guess.
Yes.
Okay, the Eastbound Empire Builder is an hour and 12 minutes late.
Wow, okay.
There's another one that's 7 minutes late. The Northbound Coast Starlight, one of them is on time. The other one is an hour and 4 minutes late.
Damn it.
The Eastbound California Zephyr, one is on time, and the other one is 10 minutes late.
Okay.
Okay.
There is the Heartland Flyer is 2 hours late, but it is not the latest train on Amtrak.
Oh, no.
The Eleni is an hour and 48 minutes late, but it's not the latest train on Amtrak. There is a Wolverine an hour and a half late, but that's not the latest train on Amtrak. The Texas Eagle is 3 hours and 29 minutes late.
Ooh.
It's also not the latest train on Amtrak.
Oh,
The
boy.
latest train on Amtrak
Oh, no.
is the Missouri River Runner.
I should have guessed that.
Currently running 4 hours and 38 minutes behind.
Ooh.
Oh.
Possibly due to boulder-related shenanigans.
I was thinking to guess that. God.
So,
damn
I
it.
was going to say, you guys will never guess it. And, man, whoever thinks that it's going to be one of those. Although you did guess the Cascades, so that's like the same kind of train. In other news, it's a regional an hour behind.
Cascade has a good on-time records, so that's why I wouldn't go for it.
A Crescent, that's an hour and a half behind, and a Silver Star, that's an hour behind, as well as the Sunset Limited, which is half an hour behind, and a smattering of delays down in Southern California for some reason. So, for comparison, the Canadians are 5 and 3 hours late, respectively.
Okay.
Yeah. And now it's time to terminate. So Eric wasn't here, so nobody got that right, because nobody cheated.
Yep.
Let me move this around because heavy. There. TBA got points. TBA says growls over bad internet connection and picture of a dragon. He had 2 points. Jader?
So TBA made this during a little bit of downtime in the podcast. He took my profile picture, which is cropped from the one of the Draw 25 memes, where it's buy more or stop buying engines or draw 25 cards, and then it's their top hat. And I cropped it, made it my Discord picture, and he messaged me, "Hey, you want to make it better?" And I'm just like, "Okay." So he added the laser eyes to it, and my caption for it.
This got posted.
Yeah, my caption for it was when more engines are put up for sale on Ozark.
Oh my god. I would like to pay respects to Neil Peart, however you pronounce his last name, the drummer of Rush, who passed away a few days ago. And, thanks to him for giving that iconic sound to us for all those years. Rush is one of the bands that I grew up on, so has a special place in my heart. Now, Milky?
White Pass 68 had the noof. We ate it to to that boulder situation.
Oh.
I think it either hit one or got hit by one, but I would assume hit by one.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Boulder shenanigans. And Israel says the Titans will win the Super Bowl and FEC 113, best 113. He's wrong, but that's okay.
He is wrong.
But Titans are still going to win the Super Bowl. Anyway, we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.